Off screen. Let's go down to Doc Larkins, who's with Tony Jones.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Well, it might have been warm and fuzzy out there with the coaches, but I can tell you it is very, very nippy down here at ground level and very slippery as well. There is a bit of a breeze blowing down the punt road end. I don't know if that'll have such an impact on the game, nor will the rain. Most of that rain has passed through the city of Melbourne and little in the way of nothing, Doc. How do these conditions affect some of the older blokes?
Yeah, I guess the older players will be worried about doing muscle injuries, as anybody will. Of course, tonight is cool, so the players will be kept warm on the bench. I'm sure we've seen the fitness guys working hard. Of course, Corey McGrath out tonight. The word is he's got a bit of a virus at Essendon. David Hill just out as a team selection, and Gary Moorcroft coming back having had surgery on the hip. He avulsed a muscle from the hip bone, and that's a legacy of the Mark of the Year, as you mentioned earlier on, Ed.
Thanks very much, Doc Larkins. Joining us tonight to call all the action, Dennis Cometti, Dermot Brereton, and of course Gary Lyon. G'day, Dennis.
Eddie, another Friday night, eh? Essendon have won their last 5 meetings against the Kangaroos. Big game, this one, certainly for both clubs. The Kangaroos, 4 and 5, saw them last week, bit unlucky.
Bombers have only lost 2 first quarters for the year, and the Kangaroos have only won 3, so I'm sure that will have been made, the players would have been made aware of that. Dermot, big start, important.
Absolutely, yeah, the Kangaroos, as you call it, haven't won too many opening quarters. Mick Martin there.
And at the other end, McCartney's gone to full court for the Kangaroos, being picked up by Dustin Fletcher.
Well, Fletcher would have set himself all week for Sav Rocker, so that's probably just a mindset thing from Dennis Pagan.
Umpires tonight, McBurney, McLaren and Jeffrey, and away we go with the opening bounce. Friday night football. Burton goes up to win it down. Harding knocks it down towards half forward. Pickett, did he have the footy? Play-on's the call. Wellman falling to the ground. Ramanauskas, one of his defensive 50, swings it wide, and Salmon. Look at this, plenty of space. Takes a while. 2 nimble men, gets a hand pass away. Blumfield in trouble in more ways than one. Burton comes back, looping hand pass close to the boundary line. King's got it. Fancy. King down towards half forward, hangs a long time in the air. Rocker had it fisted away. Robbins gets a hand pass back to support. Pickett under pressure, hurried kick, chopped off. Back come the Bombers. Ball bouncing towards half forward. Hit over the ball, Colbert. Sockers it, almost an involuntary action. King's got it now. Kicks it down towards half forward. High ball, hung a long time. Thumped out of there eventually by Forster Knight. Salmon, that's a clever kick. Out towards left half back, Ramanauskas.
So Adam Ramanauskas just puts it up in the air. Nice running from Danny Jacobs, who has run to centre wing off Severio Rocker. To the half forward flank, good kick. Out comes Lucas, the acting captain. Marks it half forward for the Bombers. Just setting it up slowly as they go forward, looking for McCurry. Has to take it on the bounce, make peace, put the pressure on it. Comes out to Caracella. He has a shot at goal from the pocket. It's an open goal, but it bounces across the face and through for the first score of the night. And it's 1 point. It might have been Heffernan who took the kick, in fact. Heffernan's kicked the point. So the Bombers are a point after a minute and a half. Kangaroos yet to score.
Stephen Alessio on his own in the middle of the ground, then really should have gone to him, Chris Heffernan. He opted to take the shot at goal and wasn't the percentage play.
Got to admire Paul Salmon. He's come back in his 4th game in reintroduction in league footy. He's quicker than the bloke he's playing on.
Great Mark Simpson in wonderful form to Clayton in trouble. Towards King, eventually it bounces into his hands. He's on the wing. David King. Another floater inside the 50. Rocker. Jacobs over the top. Fletcher jams it on the boot. Out towards right half back. Be interesting. Harding, well, he left it behind. Forster Knight was held without it. Slapped it in front. Sockers it forward. And Spider heads for the boundary line. Will it stay in? That's a very clever kick, Spider. Taken across the line by Baird.
Sending to Japan and Korea, I think, after that one.
Got to say, I love the move of McCartney on to Fletcher, just to keep Fletcher honest, give him a contest, and it frees Rocker up to play on Jacobs with a decided height advantage.
I just wonder how long they'll go with that, because McCartney gave a good lead. He was totally ignored, so he's almost decoying Fletcher out of the zone.
What would Senegal make of Spider? We'll have a bounce on the wing.
Just further to that, I reckon they'd concede that, wouldn't they, Dermot? They'd be happy for McCartney to have zero influence as long as it took away the defensive attack of Dustin Fletcher. I think it's a terrific move. And during the course of play, if they can get Rocker back into the goal square.
Well, he's done it now.
Things have changed for Paul Salmon. He's turned up. He's shorter and faster than his opponent.
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to before. Good wrap up there in the tackle by Byron Pickett. Now, he's one bloke who I reckon Dennis Pagan would be looking at to think, yep, as he said before the game, they can't get easy flow out of their back line, Essendon, and Byron Pickett is the man on screen there who has to restrict the running prowess of Essendon's back line.
Umpire decides to throw it up. Spider gets to the front, taps it down. It's Mark Johnson who's had a bit of the rinse put through his hair. The Bombers go to the forward 50. Lucas, was he being held? No, says the umpire. Colbert was there, so too Makepeace. Barnard comes in to lend some support. Pepper with the arm guard up, tries to crash through Robbins. Jason Johnson taps it down beautifully. McCurry looks up, sees the man in the pocket, kicks it to him, and Alessio, the star of last week, will line up from 25 metres out on a slight angle.
They just hit the deck there, Big Mick. The replay will show he went over very early. I'm not sure whether he's got the mouldeds on or anything, but he hit the deck and there was no contest. So he's having... Oh, this is further up the ground. That's 2 times in 1 minute. Essendon, to advantage, have not taken possession but just tapped the ball sideways to their own advantage.
Steve Alessio, 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. Well, goes a long way left to right. It's a goal.
Started the game last week well, Stephen Alessio, even though he started off the ground at the centre bounce, ran straight on and kicked a couple of early goals. And it's always nice from a forward's point of view to be able to get one when your backman slips over like that and you take uncontested mark, or virtually uncontested, and slip one through. So nice start. And then we've what have we got? Rocker's found his way to Dustin Fletcher, or Fletcher's found his way to Rocker.
Yep, the latter.
Bombers by 7 points then. The early going Friday night football from the MCG. Back in the middle. It's a cold night in Melbourne. The breeze going right to left, not all that strong. Stevens out of the centre. It bounces out towards the wing. Pickett controls it pretty well. Surrounded. Nobody really came to him, so Pickett's away. Pickett inside the centre square. That's ambitious. Now he's got a problem. Holding the ball. Advantage is paid. Fletcher down towards half forward. That's a well-weighted kick. Carusella. It's about 65 metres out. Space is deep. Thinks about going deep. Now goes to the pocket instead. Alessio searching lead. Clears the pack. Makepeace behind. Free kick to the Kangaroos. Advantage is paid. He goes towards the outer side. Robbins close to the boundary line. Drives it through the wing towards half forward. Wellman and Morrell. Morrell in front now. Wellman works back in front. How will they call this? It was the Essendon player, according to the umpire, doing the holding.
I think he got the first one. Yeah, he went for the first one, which was a half hold, and then Digby Morrell held him back in the retaliation stakes.
Big fly from Baird. Has a second go at it. Kicks to an empty square. Could be a goal. And Baird has kicked the Kangas first.
That is a fantastic effort. John Baird is effectively playing at half back on Blake Carusella.
Yep.
Followed the ball down. And what happened, Jason McCartney again playing full forward.
Gary, I'll just jump in here because, well, there's the free kick. I hope we replay Baird's shot at goal because it's his first in football.
Well, very, very well done to Johnny Baird. And I also credit McCartney, who opened up some space initially for Baird, had to go and jump at the contest, and the ball fell into his hand. So well done to Johnny Baird, who was at Hawthorn for a while.
Yeah, he's on the rookie list for a while. He's a great competitor, Johnny Baird. See, the dangerous thing about that one is that Carusella stayed down. Now, if Baird does that as a backman, goes up and leaves Carusella by himself, that could develop trouble later on.
Point the difference. McVeigh this time digs it out of the centre, kicks it down towards half forward. Archer. Courage is his middle name. Wonderful mark, going back with the flight of it. On the defensive 50, in short.
They'll have to use Spider like this, Dennis, because he'll chip in. Salmon plays a full kick beyond the ball, so if Spider can get a half kick ahead, he'll get a lot of it.
Archer jabs it towards midfield. Morrell backs off Wellman. Releases Grant inside the centre square. Probing kick inside the 50. Wide of the mark, though. Rocker comes up to meet it. This is Clayton in the pocket meantime. Pulls it back towards the kick-off line. Off hands. Stevens gets the goal.
There is no doubt that these conditions are going to suit the game style of the Kangaroos tonight. They play low possession, long kicking football, and they win those contests you spoke in pre-game, Gary. And they win against another body in tight, in close. Essendon like to flick it around, and once it gets a bit wet, you're prone to losing the control of the ball. So they'll play basic footy here tonight, the Kangaroos, and it'll pay off for them.
Welcome back. Blake Carusella goes to the bench for letting Baird get a goal. In the meantime, Stevens has kicked one as well. And the Kangaroos lead by 5 points. We've played just 8.5 minutes in the first term. Robbins for the Kangaroos over the top, looking for Simpson. Off the ground, though, is Jason Johnson. Look at that one, like a place kick. It was a beauty, and Heffernan's taken the mark. Will line up 40 metres out.
Nice move, that one. They've spotted that Shannon Grant is up against Heffernan, and Heffernan's more got the run with roll against him. And as soon as he saw Grant, he thought, well, I'll pull him out of the centre there, take him into a defensive position where he might not be as comfortable.
In the tradition of Albert Thurgood, that kick from Jason Johnson. In comes Heffernan, and his kick, not quite as good as an Albert Thurgood, who allegedly kicked the ball 100 yards in a place kick at the turn of this last century, or the one before. He kicks his second behind Heffernan.
Yeah, we know you got a good mind for records, Ed, but it was a couple of centuries ago.
Sam Newman was on the mark, actually, when he took the kick.
There's King. I'll run it out. Harvey up towards left half back, barking the instructions as he goes. Baird. He's got one of their 2 goals towards the wing. Burton had it fisted away. Down in front, McCartney, tackled by Salmon. Still a chance for McCartney. Salmon missed the footy. McCartney didn't. Got it to Burton. Kicks down towards half forward. Opportunity now for Robbins. No, he holds up about 70 metres from goal. Long centering kick. Hangs in the air. In from the side. Harding. Fletcher goes back. Loose ball. Sliding in Johnson. And it concedes immediately. No hesitation. And the Kangaroos lead by 5 points.
Jason McCartney, the first 2 goals, strong contest, brought the ball down to drop the ball, and also contested really well at ground level.
Yep.
If they can get that out of him, then he will have a big influence on this game. There's a 50 metres paid there against Shane Clayton.
Went straight over the mark, mate. He didn't play on, you went straight over the mark, all right? No.
There you go, Shane. That's the reason. But the drop of the ball of the Kangaroos early in this game have been sensational. They've been playing that style for so long, you'd expect them to be proficient.
Umpire Scott McLaren setting the scene tonight. Don't run over the mark or you'll get a 50 against you. In the meantime, Essendon changed direction and the ball comes out to Andrew Welsh. His first season up to half forward. Wellman was there. Digby Morrell was there for the Kangaroos. Over the line, out of bounds in front of the members stand at the MCG for a throw-in. Coming up to the 11-minute mark, it's the Kangaroos by 5 points. An entertaining opening. Burton and Alessio, and they open it wide up. Goes over the top, allows Mercury to run through. Good play by Harding. Makepeace. Burton has to go a long way down to get that one, but he does it to Stevens, who kicks forward. Here comes Rocker! Oh, not yet. That was last week, sorry. As McCartney kicks inside the forward 50. Here's a chance now for Mark Johnson. Gets the handball going to Ramanauskas. The Bombers are good from here. Out to Salmon. The Fish has it on centre wing.
Ramanauskas takes it back. Wonderful hand pass. Mercury just inside the boundary. Left half forward. Centres the ball. Oh, fine Mark Reynolds.
Great hands. Great hands.
Was, and we're going to get another look at it, obviously, but the way he floated then and the way he accepted the ball was, and I hate to put the curse on a kid or whatever, very James Hurd-like.
Yeah, he did. He maintained real good balance up through the air there, and that's a terrific mark by the young fella.
Joel Reynolds then just shaping himself to take that mark, reaching around the Kangaroo rival. Kicks from 45 metres close to the man on the mark, touched and offline behind.
He lost track of himself there. He just mistook where the man on the mark was.
Just thinking to himself, gee, that was a good mark.
Yeah.
4 points the difference. Kangaroos 13, Essendon 9.
They do pretty well from their kick-ins, the Kangaroos, more so than any other team in the comp. They get shots on goal at the other end directly after a kick-in.
Archer.
It's going to happen again.
Simpson. Moving it nicely. Simpson inside the centre square. Kicks towards half forward. Rocker the target. Reaching over the top. Jacobs almost. Forced tonight in the grasp. Gets the hand pass away. Alessio. Like he was playing bocce. He slapped it forward. They work it out nicely. Jacobs got it from Blomfield. Kicks it down towards half forward. Harvey charges through. Simpson always with some time. Kicks towards half forward. And the mark is taken by Sav Rocker. He's about 75 metres from goal. He's alongside the centre circle now.
He wants a torpedo here.
He gets onto 1-2, gives it a ride. They'll compete about 5 metres out. Chance for McCartney. Well, he was headed towards goal slightly before he'd controlled the footy. He was in takeoff mode, and the ball wouldn't come down. He's kicked it behind.
It's a near thing.
Like a baton change.
Good start. I mean, I don't want to dwell on the McCartney thing, but Fletcher is so important. If he takes that defensive mindset to say, I'm going to beat my opponent, that is a huge win for the Kangas.
Kangaroos by 5 points. Fletcher kicks a finger breaker out. Wellman roving, beautifully done. At the Ramanascus. Kick was a shocker, but he's found the boundary line. Will be a throw in. Good crowd building up here tonight.
Shannon Grant running with Blake Caracella too. They obviously rate Caracella highly, prepared to take Grant away from the midfield. In fact, it's Heffernan, who's similarly well rated by the Bombers, the Kangas.
Expected low tonight in Melbourne of 8 degrees, so the hardy souls are out here tonight barracking for their respective sides. Throw in. Rocker gets to the front, gets a push in the back too, and will get the free kick. Advantage is paid to the rover in Burton, who kicks beautifully down to Digby Morrell on the lead, and Digby will line up 50 metres out directly in front.
Just prepared to rotate through the full forward position. They've had about 4 or 5 so far in this first quarter, including Clayton, Morrell, McCartney and also Rocker. And it would be just to unsettle this Essendon back six, who are so used to getting things their own way. I think it's working very well for the Kangas.
Well, Dennis said they were going to try and separate them. They've done that so far.
This to make it 11 points, and Morrell comes in and does it beautifully. Puts it through, and the Kangas get their third.
Get some real belief out of this, Gary. They've won, what, I think 2 of their opening 9 quarters for the year. 3. So, look, if they get this against the competition's yardstick over the last 3 or 4 years, and get a win on at the quarter-time siren, you know, that'll go for their confidence, do them a world of good there.
Yeah, that's a great result and a good result for Digby Morrell too.
An amazing bundle of contradictions. Matthew Burton just breaking away, and the umpire with the confidence too to pay advantage when the big man's got the footy. There's the bounce. Alessio knocks it down. Robbins had it, lost it. Johnson lays it off. Ramanauskas. It's going to be a free kick to the Kangaroos. They've started brilliantly. This is Robbins.
Actually
up by
paid
11 points. In fact, it's not.
Sorry, Dennis, was actually paid by the umpire, who was 55 metres away but had the clearest view.
They've already gone into damage control here a bit, Essendon, just trying to stem the flow. There's only 3 goals against them, but every Essendon player is in that side of the ground.
But for a moment it wasn't Robbins free. It is. He kicks inside the 50. Big pack at the drop. Alessio came hard, thumped it away. Clayton leads in the race. A bit of a stumble. Welsh did well. Stepped around him. Now can't pick it up. Oh, met solidly by King. Down he went. And the umpires decided it was high.
You don't want to see that from the umpire.
Belated whistle.
Well, he does get him in the side of the head. But having said that, that is a short-term loss for a long-term gain from David King. You'd want to see it keep playing on, but if that shakes him up a bit.
Ramanauskas, high ball towards the wing. Off hands and across the line. So in effect it was a relayed ball of sorts. About 10 metres further afield after Welsh was taken high. Ramanauskas got the kick.
So an interesting period for the Bombers. They trail now by 11 points, having got the first goal of the game and missed, well, 2 or 3 shots that they should have got. Inside 50s have been 6 to the Bombers and 10 to the Kangaroos. And it's the Kangas who go forward again. However, Mark Johnson chops it off. Welsh, this time on the left foot, does it well, puts it out in front of Blumfield, who takes the mark. Blumfield on centre wing. Southern stand side, kicks to the forward 50. Big fly from behind from Morrell. He flicked it out. Could have been a throw. Reynolds in there for the Bombers. Good play by Heffernan. Broke the pack. Kicks around the body inside 50. Luck of the bounce here. Pushing the back to Martin. No, says the umpire. Left it for Stevens. And away go the Kangaroos because Pickett is all out on his own.
Loves a bounce.
Has 1. Has 2. Has 3. Runs to centre wing. Kicks it long. Harding's the man. He's got plenty of toe inside 50. But the boundary line will beat him and will have a throw in 30 metres out from the Kangaroos' goal.
Yeah, it's not a bad move, though. They've got plenty of space. It's almost classical Pagan's paddock, if you like. The whole 50-metre zone, if they can move it quickly, put it into that space and let their smaller, quicker players run onto it, then that will suit the Kangaroos.
I think that was the intention, to find the boundary line there from Pickett. Tossed in, off hands. Wellman taken down. Sliding in is Harvey, claimed by Peveril, and that ball's not coming out, so a ball up. 20 plays 9.
Well, they are, Dennis, the #1 team at takeaways from ball-in, ball-ups.
So why not do it? That's right. Tossed up close to the boundary line. Pirouette from Spider. Jacobs touched is the call. It pitches outside the 50. Taken high was Harvey. Thought about going. He's got the free 75 metres out there. Kangaroos doing most of the attacking now. Good start by them. A little chip inside the 50. Not sure that was the intention. Almost demanded the mark of Clayton. In any case, the Kangaroos have got the footy, and Clayton, who played well last week, has a shot at goal.
Did caress the kick, though, didn't he?
I reckon you'll find it was going to Spider Burton. I think that that's a tactic of the Kangaroos. Burton goes back to the goal square. There he is on the lead there, and really, Alessio had went back with him and just ignored him. And Burton got about 10 or 15 metres on him. It just so happened that Clayton led at the same time.
Big kick this one, Dennis.
Not a bad spot to have it from. He'll kick from about 35 metres out. Shane Clayton. Angle opening up for the right footer, but he tugs it left. So the margin out to 12 points now.
Let's have a look at the Essendon kicking strategy here. There's Mark McVeigh on the bench. He's been opposed to Anthony Stevens for the opening 15 minutes or so. Fletcher, I've never seen a bloke kick more mongrels that cover 70 metres. And there's another one.
Gives it a good hit this time. Rocker got to the front spot, but Ramanauskas. Handball was intercepted beautifully by McCartney. Here we go. The Kangaroos kick inside, but no one was back. Only this man, Fletcher.
Sacrifice some touch with McCartney for some grunt.
Here's a chance it's going to come back again, though. Baird to the Spider. Takes the mark. Looking for the 50. The Kangaroo fans want it. Handball's on. Simpson inside. Pickett has broken the tag. Gets a bad bounce. Tries to kick it on the pirouette. Mark Johnson now. Handball's out. Peverill for the Bombers. Clears the 50, but it might come back again. Reynolds couldn't quite hold it. Baird got the handball inside. The look away wasn't good enough. Now McCurry turns it back over. Reynolds under pressure. Simpson's got him. Dropping the ball. No. Beautiful play by Simpson. Out again. Pickpocketing. McCurry. Carosella. Wider still, but Burton's the man. Stands his ground. Taps it down. Baird. Grab when he didn't have the ball. Umpire called play on. Pickett breaks the tackle. Kicks it long to the goal square. Here's a chance for Rocker. Couldn't quite get it. Alessio came back with the last touch on play. It's a rush behind, but the game's starting to lift.
He is probably the hardest fullback to play against, Big Dustin Fletcher, but Saverio Rocker would have him in the book and say to himself, each time he runs out, I reckon I've got this bloke's measure.
Oh, good mark, Wellman. It was a good kick too. Now Wellman away. Runs through the wing. Probing kick inside the 50. Intended for Salmon. Archer couldn't hang on at the second attempt. Trying to soccer off the deck down there. Colbert taking advantage of the ricochet. Lucas. Open goal. He gets it. His first.
Scott Lucas, acting captain for the Bombers, and would appreciate just a little bit of luck, a little bit of good fortune coming his way here. Glenn Archer, the expert in the competition at coming off his man. And, well, if you're going to do that, Lee Colbert, you've got to make sure it finds the boundary line. And it just didn't have enough angle on it. It was coming back into play more so than towards the boundary.
Good shepherd by Barnard. Watch him here. Just snuck out of frame.
Welcome back, and Scott Lucas gets his first. The Bombers second of the night. And the Kangaroos lead by 7 points. 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Clearances 7 Kangaroos, 3 to Essendon. The Kangaroos get first purchase again. They pile in on top. We'll have another bounce.
That was a good call there before Gary. We say they've gone for grunt at the expense of a bit of touch. They've probably had a couple of occasions in the last 5 minutes, the Kangaroos, where their touch just hasn't been right. And had it been, they'd probably have another couple on the board.
Kangaroos again get the tap. Carosella intercepts. Mark Johnson.
Pressure.
Under pressure, King just kicks it forward to the pocket. Blakey there for the Kangaroos over the line out of bounds.
Johnny Blakey, the 6th Kangaroo player to play full forward, has taken his man Welsh down there, and they were the only 2 inside 50 on that occasion. So continue to take Fletcher away from the position where he's been most effective over the past couple of years.
Blakey at 35 years of age, Welsh at 19.
Let's get the feeling Dennis Pagan and his people have been plotting and planning all week for this one.
Yeah.
They're tossing a lot of different looks at the Bombers. This is Alessio out of defence. High ball, short of the wing. Archer improvising. Hooked the leg around there. Spills back to Baird. Taken front on. Blomfield took him down. Holding the ball.
Great decision, wasn't it? As Baird did try and break that tackle.
Put the face mask on him.
Yep, it was a great tackle.
Blomfield plays on. Kicks it down towards half forward. Plenty of Kangaroos there. Archer built the mark. Martin in the grasp. Straight to his opposite number. The other fullback, Fletcher, wants a kind bounce and gets it.
I suppose, Doom, there's always a danger of taking him away from fullback, that he might just drift forward and do something like that. I guess that's the balance, isn't it? He followed his man down there, Rocker it is on that occasion, and you wouldn't be too upset. Look, that just found its way into his hands, and there's those mongrel kicks you talked about, and it happened to bounce straight. So
you know what? I take the opposite point. I reckon they'd be irked by that, because I reckon if you're going to take him away from full forward, the Kangaroos' brains trust will be saying, take him to the wings. Don't take him dangerous corridor.
So the Bomber fullback, Dustin Fletcher, with one of Dermot's mongrel torpedoes, as he said. 55 long and strong, one bounce straight through the middle, and it's a point the difference.
Doesn't matter how they spin, he just gets them way out there.
Might have done some aerodynamics. He's got the wind tunnel working. You don't have to get the spiral to get the distance. Porter for the Kangaroos. Barnard for the Bombers. Out to Jason Johnson. Long kick forward. Bombers looking ominous now. McCurry underneath it. Does it beautifully. He's actually spoiled by Reynolds and his teammate. He had the mark. Play on. So Shannon Grant takes off. Stevens looking and hoping for the boundary line. Runs. Throw in with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left on the clock. And, yep, McCurry had that one. Reynolds didn't know who was underneath it, though.
He still should have been paid. I think he had enough of that.
That's right.
Oh, bad luck if it's your teammate who spoils you. Can't really complain, can you? Throw in.
He might get his ears singed, young Reynolds.
Robbed by Robbins. If that was the umpire calling then or not, I think it was.
Yes, it was.
So plenty of talk from the umpires, not much from the players at the other end. We'll have a throw-in. 55 out from the Kangaroos' goal. They lead by a point. Throw-in clearances have been 4-1 the Kangaroos' way so far tonight. They are the best in the Cape at it.
See that little thing like Wellman then? He read that ball about a second before Digby Morrell got to it first.
Porter and Rocker doing the ruck work. Rocker tries to crash through. Peverill just dragged him off his kick. Jason Johnson over the top looking for a bounce and finding it. We'll have a ball up 30 metres out from the Kangaroos' goal.
Dustin Fletcher kicked that goal, of course. That is the area there where he needs to be conscious of Dustin Fletcher. Sav Rocker needs to be conscious of Dustin Fletcher up around the half-back line, because he will go forward on you.
Run up quickly. Porter slaps it down. Peverill front on. McCartney. Ball eventually comes out. Johnson slaps it back into the congestion. Spills across towards the other Johnson. Socket off the ground by Harvey for a goal. His first. A bit of luck at both ends. And the Kangaroos lead by 7.
That's the way they play. They just go to the fall of the ball, and as the statistics will show you in this caper, they are #1 at winning contested possession. Look at the scrap up there. They love it. They just love a scrap.
And Doom, it's the second goal that's been kicked from the goal square.
Yep.
Stevens got one from a drop of the ball in the goal square, and now Harvey. That is why they're the #1 long kicking team in the comp. They'll just pump the ball in there. That's why McCartney's there, get a contest, and then they just back themselves to get in and win that contest.
Can't win a hit out here, the Bombers. It's 10-1 in tap-outs.
In fact, Gary, you find that the Kangaroos are 2 goals too from about 5 metres out.
Yep.
And once again, they go forward with a big booming kick inside 50. Blakey punches away. Fletcher under the hammer, gets the handball away. Wellman went one-handed and hit the pickets and hit it hard. And down he went. And Morrell picks the ball up, kicks it to the goal square. Rocker's back there, can't get the ball. It goes through for a point.
That'll be a dead shoulder.
Let's go and have a look at Sean Wellman. Doc Peter Larkins will have a look at it, but Dermot, you can tell us first-hand experience.
It's got him in the hip in the end. I thought with his head down he might have got him in the AC, but yeah, the Doc will tell us all.
8 points the margin. Caricella for Mark Johnson. Forward of left half back. Chips it up towards the wing. Ramanauskas very busy. 9th possession. Kicks down towards half forward. He should be. There's McCurry. Little chip spots Reynolds, who's marked 20 metres out directly in front.
Often said that Mercury, I think his brain ticks over as quick as any player in the competition, and he just little things like that, moves the ball on. His awareness of what's unfolding around him is second to none. I called early in the piece Heffernan had a shot for goal, and there's the one on Wellman. He'll be okay, but that was great quick thinking by Mark Mercury.
Reynolds puts the finishing touches to the quick thinking by Mercury. 6 possessions tonight for Mark Mercury, his season's high 26 against the Cats in round 1, making that goal.
Yeah, so it's just they've got a sixth sense. They look up straight away. They turn their head very quickly. They know that if they've got an opportunity to move the ball on quickly, they know where it's going to be, and that's why Mark Mercury is a class player.
I was watching Sean Wellman and Ted Richards in What's Cooking, or whatever they called it during the week, in one of their cable TV things, and they were cooking up barbecue steaks, and he was spit roasted then.
Another busy week for you, Dean.
Yeah, research, mate.
He's on the skewer. Dr. Peter Larkins, how is he going?
Yeah, he's got a bruised hip, Eddie, a bit of a cork on the side there, so he'll feel that the rest of the night, but he's staying out there at least till quarter time.
Robbins to Mickey Martin, and Mickey shows that he can kick a mongrel punt forward as well.
Good hands.
Rocker at the fall of the ball, overruns it completely. Forced tonight for the Bombers. It ricochets back to the Kangaroos, though. Simpson kicks it long to the square. Bombers get back in numbers. Harvey almost took the one-hander. Johnson, no 15, so Robbins does it again from the pocket. He screws it around the corner. Couldn't get it around far enough, though. And Carousella takes the mark for the Bombers in the back pocket.
Plays on immediately, Blake Carousella, then stops and goes back towards the boundary line. Mark Johnson.
Good composure, though, to do that. When he lifted the head and looked out this side, he would have seen a sea of Kangaroos jumpers, so took it on himself to turn back into it.
Robin slaps it towards the boundary line. 30 seconds to go in the term. Heffernan and Harding tangle. Meantime, Wellman getting back to normal. Pickett can be lethal. So boundary throw in. Roos by 2 points, approaching quarter time. Salmon hooks it down. Mark Johnson did nicely. And they're away around the outer side as the kick comes from Jacobs towards half forward. Juggled mark is taken there by Archer. Spots a man close to the boundary line. Stevens. Clock down to 7 seconds. Doubt we'll see another score, and the Kangaroos would be well pleased, I'm sure, with their start, although the Bombers have worked their way back into it a couple of times. There's the siren. Quarter time, Friday night football. Entertaining start, and at quarter time it's the Roos 4-5 over the Bombers 4-3.
I think it's a great start. Great start for the Kangaroos. They've only won their 3 first quarters. The Bombers have only lost 2. That's their 3rd first quarter loss for the year. So I think from the Kangaroos' point of view, the way they've gone into it, their setup, their ability to move them around where they perhaps they don't want to be, I think it's a big win for them.
Dennis Pagan coming down to address his troops. We'll take a break and be back with the second quarter after this. The Kangaroos lead Essendon by 2 points. Welcome back to the MCG. Dennis Pagan, very animated, very pumped up. The head set to explode there as he urges on his Kangaroos, who did pretty much everything right in the first term. And they lead the Bombers by 2 points. Morrell, Harvey, Stevens and Baird, Reynolds, Alessio, Fletcher and Lucas, the goal kickers for their respective sides. Gary Lyons being having a look at one of the great tussles tonight.
Well, it has been. It's just the centres on Dustin Fletcher and their willingness to go to the square because they've got Jason McCartney. That's Alessio and Fletcher. Now, he's not going to mark that. All they want from him is a genuine contest because they know their crummers will get there first. And I think we mentioned through the call they kicked 2 goals from the goal square and missed a couple as well. So they will continue to go long as long as they can get a strong contest.
Tony Jones, Dr. Peter Larkins.
Well, both coaches pretty similar in their approach there at the quarter-time break, Ed. Keep an eye on the Essendon bench, though. Kevin Sheedy suggested pre-match he may bring Shane Harvey on to match up on his brother. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Sean Wellman given the all clear, but a bit of concern with Justin Blumfield, who took a heavy hit to the head about 3 minutes before the quarter-time break. They've just checked him for double vision. Looks like he's going to stay out there.
And what about Wellman?
Yeah, Wellman given the all clear, so no concerns. He's just got a sore hip, but he's going to run through that, Ed.
All right, then. Thanks very much, boys. Tony Jones and Dr. Peter Larkins.
One of the good matchups that's working for the Kangaroos. Ben Robbins has had the ball 10 times. He's opposed to Jason Johnson, who can break a match open. He's only touched it twice. So that's a win for the Kangaroos there in the middle.
Kangaroos by 2 points. Burton is set down. Porter doing the rucking now. Up he goes. Got it on the way down. Stevens, a hurried kick. Chopped off by Forster Knight. High ball still inside the centre square. Almost to Archer again. Missed it. Barnard tried to clear a passageway through. Nothing doing. Stevens grabs the loose ball. Kicks it out towards the wing. Foot race now. Reynolds should be the first to arrive. Salmon did pretty well. Helped him. Reynolds knocks it forward. Wellman slipped over. Blakey in the grasp and taken down. Reynolds hand pass high. Knocked on by Robbins in the wrong direction. Over the ball Johnson. Heffernan did well. Slapped it out. On his knees Carosella. In goes Johnson. Missed it. Stevens over the football. Claimed immediately. Whistle and a ball up on the outer side. No, over the shoulder. A late call. And Stevens will get the free.
That style of game, the Kangaroos will love that. I mean, Essendon are pretty good at making it hard and tough, but the Kangaroos will like that style of game.
Off the pack, Harvey and Peveril. That's not coming out. So a ball up, left half forward for the Kangaroos.
Byron Pickett becomes full forward number 7 for the Kangaroos, playing out of the square now with Mark Johnson.
Rocker does the ruck work and gets the tap. Robbins, who's been very effective inside 50. The kick not too flash, though, and Barnard gets the test out the hip. Not Barnard, Wellman, rather. Wellman gets the hit.
I was wondering when he was going to come in and bump Sean Wellman then.
Sorry, boys.
It's all right, mate.
Over the head of the pack. Johnson. Over the line and out of bounds.
They are quite brilliant, Essendon, at little deft touches, tap-ons, at putting it to a teammate's advantage. I reckon they've been the #1 team in the comp at doing that type of action.
Thanks, guys. Don't hold in front.
Very good at the boundary line throw-ins, Paul Salmon.
Gets the tap over the top of Rocker, but Robbins, again, from the clearance. He's had 3 or 4 centre clearances, and that's 5 for the night, all up. Morrell now inside 50, kicks to the square. Porter gets back for the Kangaroos. So too Fletcher. Line ball decision. Umpire called play on. Porter goes off the ground and through for a behind. So the Kangaroos get the first score of the second term. 4-6-30 lead Essendon by 3 points, 4-3-27.
See Mark Porter trying to work the angles there, but he was under a lot of pressure. Pythagoras didn't have Dustin Fletcher hanging off him. It's socket down towards half forward by Blumfield. Chance for Archer. Brilliantly done. Still Archer. Comes away from half back and swings it very wide, close to the boundary line. Out it goes in front of Blakey. It'll be tossed in. 30 plays 27. Second turn.
Well, he's been great, Archer. He's on Paul Barnard across half forward, and it's a big contest, but he's had 5 touches for the night. Barnard just the 1.
His hands aren't all that clean. He's dropped 3 overhead, but he's been putting himself into the dangerous hit zone where he could get caved in, but he still attacks the footy.
Clayton did well after Simpson's kick. This is Blakey. Kicks it inside the 50. Loose ball at the back. Rocker misses.
Well, I tell you, it's another shot at goal from inside the 10-metre square, and they kicked another point. They grabbed that one from Porter as well, so that is their scoring area, the Kangas.
Fletcher wasting no time, sets it up. McCartney did well, knocked it down to his own advantage. Runs inside the 50. Good talking. He misses to the right-hand side.
Inside 50s, Kangaroos 23 times already. Essendon 11.
Second behind for Jason McCartney, and they're 2 goals for now, Gary, from inside 5.
Yeah, well, it's clearly the way they play, and their drop of the ball has been very good.
Fletcher, a booming kick out towards the half-forward flank. Porter for the Kangaroos does it well. Tried to just squeeze the kick out to Simpson. Grabbed high. Umpire called play on. Ooh. Simpson's kick was a beauty. To Pickett.
Great flat punt pass.
Beauty in the eye of the beholder, and if you're Dennis Pagan, that was an absolute ripper.
And will kick from 5 metres out, which is not surprising. They're the best kicks for a forward if they happen to float at the right time.
Oh, yeah. I think they're quite happy to have an undersized full forward, because rarely does the backman mark it if they're 2 undersized combatants.
Byron Pickett makes no mistake. 4.5 minutes in, and the Kangas get their 5th.
Dermot, your point on Ben Robbins is terrific. I mean, he is having a big impact on this game against arguably the best midfield or clearer of the footy in the middle of the ground in Jason Johnson. So he's had 5 clearances and been able to keep Johnson relatively quiet and under wraps. Not relatively, only 2 touches for Jason Johnson, so it works really well.
Nine possessions for Adam Simpson, coming off 29 last week. His season's high 33 against the Eagles. Round 7. Stevens smothered off the boot by Welch. It ricochets out wide. Peverill leads in the race. Sockers again down towards half forward. Kangaroos in front. Colbert did well. Stevens followed up well. Clever kick. He was in the confined space and pushed across the line there by Simpson.
Let's have a look at the way Byron Pickett got out the back door here. You see Dustin Fletcher, eyes on the footy, as you're entitled to, and Pickett just goes, he's just got too much space there.
Mark Johnson's his opponent there,
Yep.
and he was a bit slow getting back.
He was going to try and create.
Shepherd in the ruck. Lucas didn't like it. Bad luck. The umpire said it's your free kick to Lee Colbert. Colbert kicks towards the centre half forward position. Ooh. Good pressure from Porter, but he got in the back of Wellman. Advantage is paid. Jacobs to centre wing, looking for Welsh. Out of bounds, throw in. So 6 1/4 minutes into the second term. The Kangaroos have stuck out to an 11-point lead, which is the biggest lead of the match so far.
And dominated, I reckon, the game, really, in terms of particularly the way they've gone forward.
Just don't have the polish to really translate it into a big burst on the scoreboard.
Mercury. Mark Johnson now. Well worked, Carousella. Blumfield kicking it down towards half forward. Inside the 50, Reynolds surrounded by Kangaroos. A bit lucky. Mercury measures the kick from 45 metres out and misses.
Gee, if there was going to be somebody's hands on the footy who you'd want it to kick that goal, it was that fella there, Mark Mercury. Couldn't do the job in the end.
So the margin 10 points.
Oh, Kingy.
Put a distance on the kick.
Yes.
Kingy goes after it. Slams it on the boot now to midfield. Big leap from Lucas. Helped on its way by Colbert. Brilliant. Chance for McCartney. Feigns a hand pass. Now he goes. Harvey steps around one would-be tackler. And it's a throw. They've done the hard stuff. Penalised in the last action.
Once again, the Kangaroos almost get a shot on goal from their kick-in.
Blumfield to Lucas through the middle of the ground. Bombers have got away here. Baird needed to hit the body. Reynolds couldn't quite hold the mark. Baird handballs inside. Recovered beautifully. Gutsy stuff from King to have a bounce after 2 steps, but it paid off as he looked up and hit Digby Morrell. Morrell kicks forward for Rocker, and Big Seb takes the mark.
Pickett, plenty of room down there.
And Pickett's led from the square, so he's got an empty goal square. And Seb unloads a big drop punt, but it won't be online and goes through for one behind.
It is just, it's exciting when he gets the ball. And you can just see in his step when he approaches the man on the mark that he's thinking, lead, lead, lead. No, goal. And you can see the excitement in him. And you know the thing's going to go 75.
2 behinds to Seb, both this quarter. 8 1/4 minutes gone, and the Kangaroos lead by 11 points.
Fletcher
Have to hold it up here. There's not much ahead.
this is Forster Knight deep in the pocket. Sav Rocker, his best effort against the Bombers. 9 for Collingwood, round 4 in 95. Jacobs in front. Blakey right there, step for step, and a boundary throw in.
Yeah, the day that a bloke called Dermot Brereton played alongside him and shepherded beautifully for him.
Oh, that was out through the banner, Ed.
No, did very well.
It was right here at the MCG. Porter goes up. Archer slaps it back. Morrell, half chance. Forster Knight releases Blumfield. Blumfield gets a second chance. Onto the loose ball at the feet of Fletcher. They've still got time. They're making it hard. Down goes Barnard. Tackled by Archer. Archer goes back into the fray. Clayton has it in there somewhere. Gets it back towards Archer. Was he held? Socket off the ground by Barnard out towards the wing. It'll go back in. This is McCartney. Long kick inside the 50. In front, Fletcher. Great judgment. Morrell was storming up. Couldn't get to the contest in time. And Fletcher pops it out wide. Blumfield. That's a good mark. Simpson bearing down.
Gee, that was a good mark by Fletcher. It was a real wet weather mark. He triple handled it. That's a... Yeah, all the boys double grabbing because it's a bit greasy out there, and that's clever footy.
Heffernan grabbed high. Umpire was blindsided. That was a throw in the end. So Heffernan was a bit stiff.
I reckon he slipped up in the tackle there, Ed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good decision. Play on for the original tackle.
Colbert to the corridor where Blakey waits. 3 so far tonight, 4 to Essendon, 8 to the Kangaroos. Blakey finds some space, runs around Mercury. Kicks long. The tradition at Arden Street is to do so. Bombers get back. Jacobs couldn't quite hold it. Forced tonight around the body. Blind kick, but it might come off. Wellman sits underneath it. Rocker from behind. Knocks it forward. Teague on the ground. Handballs to Simpson. Back to King. The King and Simpson.
Can't call it misses.
No, not quite a winning combination once upon a time. McCartney comes in. Big torpedo to the goal square. Punch to the ground. Bombers. Caracella. Forced tonight has to sit and wait. Peveril. Makepeace. Throwing the ball. No, says the umpire. Jason Johnson around the body. Squeezes it out. Looking for the boundary line. It stays in. Blakey. Knocked over. Harvey. Back he goes to Simpson. Looks up. Little kick was a beauty to Makepeace. 55 out. Plays on straight away. No one on the mark. Off one step. He kicks to the square. Won't be a goal. Morell's there. Goes to ground. Keeps his feet now. Stands up. Trying to get the handball out. He's gang tackled. It spills out. Stevens out the back. Corner. Grab to the ground. Now it comes out to Caracella and the Bombers relieve out to Mercury.
Mercury left half back, lacking support, waited, held it long enough, got it back to Fletcher. Fletcher pops it over the top, Barnard. Man on in the middle if he can go there. Well, he goes by hand. Ramanauskas through his legs, waiting behind a half chance for Wellman. Did well. Heffernan, advantages paid. Wellman is down again. Meantime, Heffernan swings it out towards left half forward and Barnard tracking it towards the pocket. Oh, well played. Goes across towards Lucas. Lucas running out of space. Hand passes back towards Reynolds. Chopped off though by Teague. The danger is past, or has it? Not the best of kicks coming out. Taken by King. Sweeping hand pass to Martin on the burst. Kicks it through the centre down towards half forward. McCartney in front couldn't hang on. Loose ball at the back. It's picked up by Alessio. Shrugs a tackle. That affected the kick to lunge by McCartney, but it still comes out to Jacobs. Jacobs goes down towards right half forward, gets there in time. Blumfield with Makepeace bearing down. 39 plays 28. Blumfield towards the pocket. Mercury gets across, not in time. Down goes Lucas. It was out of bounds.
Just really struggling Essendon up forward. We saw him here against, I think it was the Magpies, only kicked 4 goals for the whole afternoon.
Yes.
And with Barnard well held by Archer at the moment and Lucas being well beaten by Colbert, they haven't got a real dead set avenue to goal. Actually, the boy Reynolds is the one they're playing through the most at the minute.
Caracella off and Moorcroft on. Blumfield. Nicky Martin does it well. Stevens kicks wide, looking for the boundary line. Moorcroft, who just came on, was in the right position. Chip pass inside the Ramanauskas.
But there's no doubt Essendon's backline are just keeping them in the hunt at the moment.
Ninth kick.
Oh, great spot.
That's a beautiful kick too. Wellman just snuck out and positioned himself like a boundary umpire in the forward pocket. Ramanauskas saw him and had the penetration in his kick to find it.
Just saying, Essendon take more marks inside 50 than any other team in the comp.
Sorry, Tim, just trying to get eavesdrop on the umpire and Ramanauskas having a conversation.
Half a step.
He was trying to get a 50-metre penalty, Ramanauskas, and the umpire said, no, the rule hasn't changed.
Ramanauskas has dried up a little bit this quarter too, and as soon as I thought that, he gets it and he pinpoints somebody.
Big kick for Wellman. Ooh. Almost the mark. Porter kept it in. Reynolds picked his pocket. Mercury misses from point-blank range. And Mark Mercury kicks his second point of the quarter.
Yeah, Ramanauskas as opposed to David King. Now, he probably had the better of him if we watch this. A little bit of a comedy there at the end. Yeah, he probably had the better of him in the first quarter. King's turned the tables in this second quarter. He's dried up Ramanauskas, and now when he finds the ball, at least he's able to hit somebody inside 50.
Harvey needed to be precise, and he was. Colbert did well at half-back, swings it out wide. Simpson, short of the wing. Was he going? Well, it doesn't matter. Heffernan, what's the decision? 50, is it?
Metres.
Wow.
No, the thing is, the way they've been talking about it, he wasn't entitled.
Claimed him head.
That's it.
Hadn't played on.
That was all about angles and movement, wasn't it?
No wonder what. I mean, no matter what no matter what the movement is, you have to wait for the umpire to call, and he hadn't, and he claimed him.
Simpson from 60 kicks it down towards full forward. Off the hands of the pack. Jacobs a fumble. Teague took him front on and took him down. Hogtied will have a ball up in the pocket.
I agree with what you're saying, Dermot, but I think the umpire made a blue by not calling play on. I think that's the issue I've got.
Put it this way, even if the umpire thinks that's play on, and for the time he sees the action till it transmits to his brain, if he can't get it out there quick enough, a half second and the player grabs him, you're obligated to play the 50.
Game of reflexes at time, though.
Yep.
And Jacobs unlucky not to get a free kick. In the meantime, off the ground, Mickey Burton has missed. Tell you what, they all think they're at the World Cup tonight.
It's another one off the ground from the 10-metre square. I mean, they just want to get it in there and they'll just throw a boot at it. Not a bad effort.
Might have had a hand on it as well, just going through there. Fletcher?
Yeah, Grobbelaar just deflected it.
Who was paying him?
I was going to say, did he have a bet on it?
yeah.
Grobbelaar's kick comes out. Harvey.
He's good.
Pickett tries to go underground, then look for the free kick. That was a right decision.
Yep.
Play on.
The amount of footy they've had in the ball that they've been able to belt inside 50, I reckon they'd be disappointed with it at the moment, the Kangas. They've gone inside 11 times and haven't been able to convert. They've got to get more numbers to the drop of the ball. They had more in the first quarter.
11-5, the inside 50s.
Boundary throw in. Rocker slapped it down. King across the body. Hangs in the air a long time. Mark Johnson almost the mark, not paid. McCartney at the base of that pack somehow got it out. It bounces back in off the bit of Simpson. Morell at the base of it will have a ball up.
Good, tough, hard game of footy, this one. 34 tackles the Kangaroos have had, so they've claimed the opposition 34 times. Essendon only 18. They're working a bit harder.
Burton from behind. Remanowska slides in. Gets it to Fletcher. Fletcher kicks it out towards the wing. Archer coming across on the angle. Bounces obligingly for Wellman. Oh, not Archer now, he's thinking. The ball close to the boundary line. Out it goes. That's the daily double, isn't it? You're running along, the footy's in front. Pickett got you once, and then Archer gets you the second time.
Tomo and Lilly.
Great effort by Archer. His man was off. If he didn't make the body contact and get the ball out of bounds, Barnard was in space 50 metres on his own.
Boundary umpire should have really thrown it in a second time. That would have been 5 metres. Alessio got the free kick, and the Bombers fans say about time.
Don't know what Kingy was thinking then. He saw the big man and thought, I'll jump at him. Need to go in low.
Free kicks are 8-5 in favour of the Kangaroos. Bombers inside 50. Teague from behind on Reynolds. The two young number 40s go at it together. McVeigh tries to break the tackle. Robbins put the grip on. Nice play from Jason Johnson. Handball was ordinary though. Harvey for the Kangaroos to make peace. Kicks wide. Has to hit a chest and does, and Clayton marks at defensive 55.
Gee, that was well done by Brent Harvey. He just waited till the tackle turned him to his teammate and gave the handball.
Good strong mark by Morell.
Playing good footy today, Morell. Presenting.
7th possession for Digby Morell. Long up towards McCartney. Flies against 2. Front and square. Harris. A missed kick, and Mickey's got it!
Get the AFL
Mickey.
Up.
Here we go. Mick Martin has, in his wonderful career of 273 games, kicked 15 goals, 13.
Oh, so he's getting better.
Can I just say too, though, this is the second time that Dustin Fletcher's seen a player in his vicinity and declined to go to him. We saw the one with Pickett, maybe a bit unlucky, it floated over his head, and now this one with Mick.
The AFL average is 50%. The Kangaroos lead by 11 points. The fullback of the Kangaroos team of the century, two-time premiership player, two-time best and fairest, lining up in his 274th game for goal number 16, and it's a big kick in the context of this match for the Kangaroos. Can Mickey do it? He comes in from 45. The kick is on its way! Mickey's done it! You beauty!
Well, just fantastic scenes. Have a look at that for some celebration. And waiting for the all clear, but there's no doubt about that. About 8 Kangaroos jumped all over Mick after that one, and that is a terrific result.
This will be a brave goal umpiring decision. That's the decision they wanted.
You got to remember, though, that Mick Martin was schooled as a full forward when he was a kid. He's played a lot of footy in front of the goals. He's shabby as a kick on the run. I don't think we're insulting too many by saying that. But having seen him up the back line so much, you just know that he's not all that comfortable with shooting from a set shot at goals these days. Well, as you called it, 16 goals now in a massive career. So he's not bad. He's not bad on the set shot.
We had the AFL average. We didn't have mix average because it showed up as insufficient data.
And they're doing it with an abacus, I think, in the last century.
6-10, 4-5. Burton up early. Salmon slaps it down, charging through Barnard. Well done. Gets the hand pass away. Wellman kicks inside the 50. Back goes Lucas. Archer was up. Lucas knocked it away from him, and the mark is paid, is it? Oh, he's a bit lucky there.
You've got to notice that. See, there was 3 Kangaroo defenders on Lucas. They know where the ball's going. They're peeling off their opponents and assisting 20 metres out from goal.
Colbert got it from Burton. Kicks down towards half-forward. Forced tonight. Gets away from Clayton. Takes the mark. Out towards the wing comes the kick. Harvey's got it. Goes down towards half-forward. Salmon about 60 metres out. Shane Harvey runs on inside the 50. So the brothers inside the attacking 50 at the moment for the Bombers. This ball spills off Heffernan and will be tossed in.
I think the other thing that's happening a bit is playing Burton, and here's the mark of Glenn Archer. That's
3-on-1.
Standard Glenn Archer, but Burton and Porter are being targets through the middle of the ground, giving Paul Salmon something to think about, probably for the first time since he's come back. Approaching
half-time, it's tossed in. Burton directs it down, Makepeace to Archer. Uncharacteristic fumble to Alessio to Reynolds, who snaps and slams it into the woodwork.
Salmon off for Alessio.
Yeah, well, young Reynolds has been probably their most lively forward, or most likely forward. I think they've really struggled, and they've got to find someone at half-time. He's had 6 touches, but someone at half-time, set full forward, play him there for the rest of the half.
Danger. Harvey from the intercept. Kicks forward. Martin slaps it. Harvey goes again. So does Mickey. Umpire calls mine will have a bounce. 35 to 40 metres out directly in front.
He almost copped a boot in the face there. Mickey wouldn't be happy with that. Look after Mickey's looks.
Ball up. Alessio and Burton. Lucas crashes through. McVeigh. Archer heads for the boundary line. Well, depending on which umpire's officiating, that could have gone either way.
I reckon he was a metre to the good of being towards the centre of the ground.
Yep.
Had he been about 2 metres or 1 or 2 metres close to the boundary, they'd have pinged him for that.
Throw in.
Sits at the front of the pack there, Archer.
22.5 minutes gone. Second term. Warcroft. Beautiful squaring kick. Pickett from behind. Couldn't quite hold the mark, so Peveril has a flying shot at the goals. It's into the goal square. Archer getting back. No one down. Harvey kept it alive. Reynolds again. Got the handball to Lucas. Ball still alive. Archer crashes through. Does it beautifully. Colbert and Harvey. Harvey to the middle of the ground. Morrell has to mark. He does pretty well. Brings it to the ground. King. Graham. Handball's in front. Fantastic play by Ramanaskas. Heffernan for the Bombers.
Inside the centre square, chips it across. Peveril on the burst. Barnard 75 metres out, sets it up towards the kick-off line. Going back, McVeigh. Harvey off the ground. How about that?
That kid knew exactly what he was doing. He was set to go for the mark, and he pulled away from the contest to give himself a little bit of scope, a little bit of space, and look at the falling ball. Watch him here. He's backed away about now. He sits there, goal side, in the clear. He knew exactly what he was doing, that young man.
Should be playing for the Kangaroos. That is the way they play. He's actually come on and just twice almost crumbed cleanly and looks dangerous already. And there he is, young Shane Harvey, and this is classic Kangaroo play. Watched his brother for the last 5 years and said, well, I might get in on the act there, and really, he's come on and looked dangerous enough. 2 crumbs almost fallen straight into his hands.
In greasy conditions, you've just got to be right under the pack every time. Jason Johnson to Mark Johnson. 10 points the difference. Ramanaskas. Bombers going forward. Kangas in front. Teague. Hard bodies required. That's holding the man. No. Umpire let it go. Harvey. Good. We don't want any soft free kicks. Beautiful kick out to Lucas, who takes a strong mark.
That could be 50. Is he going to adjudicate?
Sean, Gary, think about it. You don't want to lose it.
Warning, Wellman.
Mick's got one in each arm.
Going to hurt the Kangaroos this last couple of minutes. They've pretty well dominated without being able to hit the scoreboard enough.
He's not in the contest there, Lee Colbert, and it's not an aggressive thing, but just the way they've been adjudicating in the last fortnight. He wasn't in the marking contest. He still made contact.
Would have been a travesty had the 50 been paid.
It would have.
Lucas has kicked one goal and has still kicked one goal out of bounds on the full.
Would have been very handy, that one. 10 points the margin. Close to half-time.
Got to play a straight bat here. They just can't concede anything here. The nickname of Brent Harvey, Boomer. You can hear him being called on the side, and that's where he goes.
Well, it's hung up a long time, and Ramanauskas goes back and takes the mark.
Just couldn't punch it quick enough.
No, but the kick across goal,
that's
the
what I'm
ball
saying.
is going to be in the air on a 40-metre kick for at least 2 seconds, and you'd be surprised how much ground a player can make up in that time.
Ramanauskas picked it 10 seconds earlier and just timed his position. Just set himself up, zoned himself off beautifully.
Boomer just needed a bit more bang in that kick.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He did. Ramanauskas. Can he
nice.
punish them? It's a lovely kick. That is a beautiful kick from the left footer.
They said they needed to play a straight bat for the last couple of minutes.
Down the line.
They played the cross bat shot.
Yeah, the only thing they could have got away with it, Dermot, had it been, say, Shannon Grand, a left footer able to swing out and get that carry. Because he had to kick it inside out, he was always going to struggle to get there. And it was a very, very much a low percentage play. That is a beautiful finish from a very skilled footballer.
Welcome back with just over a minute left in the quarter. The Bombers have kicked the last 2 and suddenly it's 4 points the difference and the Bombers go forward again. Lucas was holding on to Colbert. Umpire said play on. Grant out the back to make peace. Twisting and turning. Dodging and weaving, breaks a tackle, now gets the kick. High up and under though, it might come straight back. Good play by Simpson, Simpson it was. Umpire called play on.
Bounced off the back. The umpire called it play on because it bounced off the back of the player in front of him.
King to Morrell. Stevens. McCartney. 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, he got the first and last grab, but in between it bounced off his teammate's back.
Chance here. Fletcher on the mark.
McCartney kicks to the square, won't quite make the distance. Rocker pushing and shoving, and a stump through for a rush behind.
They've really stepped up their centre bounce clearances, Essendon. They've got 4 zip in this second quarter after about that 5-10 minute mark, and they were 6-3 at quarter time down. They've just controlled it now. Jason Johnson starting to find the ball underneath the hands of the ruckman in there.
9 seconds of the term. Moments ago, this guy was down the other end, kicking a wonderful goal. Now in the back pocket, Ramanauskas sends play up towards the wing. Drifting back and taking the mark is Lucas. There is time. Lucas from the wing down towards half forward. Well, there may not be now. They need to get this loose ball, the Bombers. Make peace with other ideas. Gets the hand pass away. Grant to Martin. And there's the siren for halftime. So the Kangaroos hold in the dying seconds. And at halftime, after a very entertaining first half, it's the Roos 6-11-47 over the Bombers 6-6-42.
To step up here though, Essendon. They are capable of it, but Sheedy is clearly worried by the situation.
Yeah, the coach usually waits, gets him in behind closed doors, but he was very animated and keen to get stuck into it. As we get set for the bounce of the ball, Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, just quickly, Glenn Archer with his left thigh heavily strapped Ed. Got a corky right on half-time, so let's hope he's not too restricted.
Kangaroos by 5 points. Porter goes up to knock it down. Simpson in the grasp, got the kick away. Pickett overran it. Mark Johnson didn't. Nicely worked. McCurry sold into trouble though. Stevens tries the straight arm. It came back to Jason Johnson on the deck. McCurry missed the football. Teague's in there, kicking in danger.
He was brave then, Teague. He put his head over the ball, and it's as clear as you can say it. Put your head over the ball and you show a bit of bravery and you'll end up with the footy more often than not.
Teague to half forward. Rocker was up, couldn't complete the mark. Comes out to Salmon. Runs into a dead end. It was Jacobs who sent it out. He's got it again, in trouble. Heffernan. Johnson was over the ball. Heffernan did well. Forced the night. Kicks it out towards the wing. Simpson in front. Can he get away? Not quite. Scrambles a kick towards half forward, but out of bounds on the full.
Not a lot of structural change, but Sean Wellman has gone to half forward for Essendon. They really need a lift down there. They need some leadership, and they need someone who can present to the footy and give them a stronger contest, and he has been the man earmarked.
Blumfield, the defensive side of the wing, goes to half forward. Teague came hard, did well, slaps it towards the boundary. Keeping it in was Harvey. Gains about 25 metres. Well done, educated kick.
Instinctive play, wasn't it? Just clever. Thought it was going to go out.
Only played, what is it, his 4th or 5th game for young Harvey for the Bombers, but he clearly knows his way around a footy ground.
Game number 5 for Shane Harvey from Preston RSL. Which was, I think, Peter Dacos's original home club. Off hands, over the line and out of bounds from Peveril. Big news tonight on the radio, and this is absolutely serious, is that Crackers Keenan, of course, was threatening legal action against our own Sam Newman, has deferred the legal action, instead has challenged Sam to a 3-round bout on the television, and the challenge has been accepted. So get ready for that in the papers tomorrow. Sam Newman versus Peter Crackers Keenan in the ring.
Is it a cage match with no foreign objects?
No foreign objects in the trunks, no.
No, well, you might have to clean up that line.
Tossed up on the wing, Blumfield over the top, thumps it down. Ramanauskas slaps it down towards half forward in turn. Lucas spears out the hand pass taken by Moorcroft, who goes across the 50. Barnard tried to help the ball on its way, now tracks it out towards the boundary. Martin is there, he's kicked the goal tonight. He soccers it towards the boundary. Now the Bombers want a free for deliberate, and the umpire's having none of it.
The effort by Barnard is an indication of the pressure he feels under from Glenn Archer. Didn't attempt to mark, just went to punch the footy on, and well, Mickey wasn't trying to do anything else.
No. Tossed in right on the 50. Archer punches it back in the direction of the fence. It'll be tossed in again. The Kangaroos 47, the Bombers 42.
It's amazing, isn't it? Paul Dainty's got the World Wrestling Federation coming out, and I've got Crackers versus Sam. Top disposal, Simpson and Stevens, Blumfield and Ramanauskas. 2-2, the Kangas and the Bombers. From the throw in,
Jason Johnson's a player that usually features prominently in those lists, but tonight he's had his colours well and truly lowered by Ben Robbins. Right at the moment, Robbins has had 12 touches and Jason Johnson 7.
There he is, Robbins. Harris kicks to the wide open spaces, and the race is on. Ramanauskas gets there first, turns around, plenty of leads. Kick needs to be good. It wasn't. Robbins got to the front of Jason Johnson and took the mark.
He's doing really well, that kid.
Out wide, Peveril versus Harvey. Harvey keeps his feet. That's the first thing. Now he goes to the ground. Peveril stands up, gets a shepherd from Mark Johnson. Peveril on the left boot, finds the boundary line. They'll have a throw in.
Great lesson. Beautifully called, Edward. Great lesson there. You've got to keep your feet and stay in the contest.
There he is. AFL's version of Cowboy Bob Orton. got the cast on the arm. We're talking wrestling.
Boundary throw and out of side. Salmon in front. Porter stepped around him, slapped it down towards the attacking 50. Ramanauskas heads for the boundary. Jason Johnson a bit slick towards Mark Johnson. It's knocked across the boundary line by Robbins, so it'll be thrown in. There's Mark Johnson. Jason just 7 possessions tonight. In fact, that was the 8th, but it didn't work out too well. Against the Kangaroos last season, 5 Brownlow votes, 61 possessions and 6 goals. So no wonder they underline him as a potential danger coming into this game. McCurry again slick. This time Mark Johnson got it okay. Dragged off the kick though. It bounces back into the congestion. Mark Johnson, Jason Johnson, they're all in there. Jason that time couldn't find a path through. Kick towards full forward is marked by Jacobs.
Good talent, this kid.
From the kick-off line, interesting kick comes out towards Jason Johnson. Rocker slapped it away from him. Forster Knight to Fletcher. Kicks it towards the wing. Blakey did well. Directs it down. This is Harvey. Comes back towards the middle. Taken by Simpson. Plays
Good
on.
kick.
Probing kick. A beauty inside the 50. And Harris has taken the mark. About 40 metres out. on a slight angle.
Hasn't kicked the goal this year. This is his 11th senior game. Has kicked 1 goal 4.
He represents a big investment for the Kangaroos. Was a top 10 draft pick, I think, from memory, and just now starting. I think tonight he's been really good. He's
taken at 14, actually, Gary.
14 was he? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he just demonstrates tonight that he's starting to feel a bit more comfortable with this.
Clean hands on that grab.
This will be a test for him. Daniel Harris from just inside the 50. Bad effort. It's trying to come back left to right. It's tight. Rocker applauds. Not so the goal umpire. With him, it was one hand clapping.
Yeah, captain the Vic under-18 country team.
Yeah, Rushworth, I think.
Yeah. Beautiful clean hands on that. Was the cleanest grab we've seen all night. Most players have played wet weather footy as there's dew falling and have double grabbed everything for safety, but he just cleanly gloved it.
Bolton in the back pocket for Essendon. Oh, he's turned it over. Stevens to punish. No.
I tell you what, Byron Pickett's just given Anthony Stevens some advice about going inboard.
Yeah, they lined up in the middle.
Didn't they?
Didn't come. 7 points. Kangaroos in front.
Kevin Sheedy might have had a real point at half-time. I thought they'd come out just breathing fire, the Dons, but they haven't.
Jacobs from the back pocket. Kangaroos know they are certainly not in control of this game yet. You've got to be 15 goals in front against the Bombers.
True.
As they know, King kicks it forward. Jacobs gets back and takes the mark. That's number 10. The possession coming up.
Sorry, the thing is with Essendon, they're playing brilliantly in defence, but nowhere else.
Heffernan tries to clear the zone, but it's only as far as Rocker, and he'll boot it straight back in.
Sheedy's got to do something in the middle of the ground. He's got to get a forward who'll lead up there and present.
Beautiful long kick from Rocker. Porter couldn't quite hold the mark. McCartney tries the banana. Still in the danger zone. Fletcher heads for the boundary line. We'll have a throw in and start again. With 14 minutes left in the third quarter, the intensity is certainly lifted, but the Kangaroos need to get a goal. If the Bombers get one against the run of play here, it could just break their back.
Well, they've been banging the ball long all night. Now's the time where they can break it up by looking short. I think they've just got to open their vision and be a bit more multi-dimensional going forward.
Tossed in. Ramanauska's camped in front. Couldn't control it. Robbins had a good night.
Because as it stands now, Fletcher and the ruckman, they all are just pushing back into that square, and they're outnumbering them everywhere, and they can't get a drop of the ball. Just chip a couple in short and break it up, draw them out of that hole.
Salmon flicks it down. Shark, though, by Grant, who runs to the 50, hooks it back towards the kickoff line. Fletcher was held as he came to that ball, punched it away. Mark Johnson arches the back. It's a hand pass to Peverill. Peverill goes towards the outer side. The Bombers under constant pressure, absorbing a lot of it. Can they maintain? This is Makepeace. Kicks inside the 50. In he comes, Rocker, the big man. Well called. He's taken the mark. 35 metres out, directly in front. It seemed almost inevitable.
Well, even then, much better than banging it to the top of the square. It was just a different spot to go to, and it helped, obviously, that they had a target there in Sav Rocker, who was able to come in. And in the end, a pretty good grab from the big fella, good reaction.
Kept the eyes on the ball all the way through the contest. They're defending brilliantly here, Essendon. And the fact is, they've got numbers down there, and every time they put the ball to the midfield, no one is capable of winning it across the centre for Essendon and then kicking it further.
22 goals for the season. This time last year, he'd kicked 19. In he comes for his first of the night, and it's home.
Well, Dermot, you said that your expectation, and I shared it, was for Essendon after seeing Kevin Sheedy at half-time to come out really fired up and really physical and hard. But again, in this first, well, we've been playing probably 5-10 minutes, it had been dominated by the Kangaroos. And really, if they could be a bit more discerning as they go forward and open their vision a little bit, I think they could be put a fair gap between them and Essendon.
Welcome back, and the Kangaroos got the all-important first goal of the third quarter.
Simpson at full forward.
Ball again at half forward. Pickett knocks it forward. Fletcher tried to conjure something, but Pickett kept going. And going. Peverill over the top. Hard ball there.
They're going to love this. They are going to love this type of game, the Kangaroos. And Byron Pickett was fantastic there. Been a little bit critical of him this year.
Thank you.
But tonight, without big possessions against his name, he's been valued.
Gary, you're saying they just needed to change the way they came forward, the Kangaroos, and they did to Rocker and got the immediate goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And also they've gotten small in the full forward line. Now they had Simpson, now it's Brent Harvey, dragging those big blokes away from the top of the square. So discerning was the word I used. Just need to open up a little bit, be prepared to chip one or two short just to break it up.
55 out, Simpson the third man up, but it's Ramanauskas for Essendon who kicks. Will come straight back. Makepeace has read it beautifully from a kick behind play. He brought the last ball into Rocker. Now he gets it over to Mickey Martin. Martin puts it out in front of his teammate, and the mark's been taken by Shannon Grant.
This is dangerous because he can hit a target. Harvey's on the lead.
That's the target. He gets away and hits him.
Look, Dennis Pagan, I think you're giving votes tonight. You'd give them to him. I think the way he's moved them around up forward, it's... You mentioned pre-game talking to you, Dermot, he wanted to try and spread their defence and separate them, and he's done it fantastically well. And even early in this quarter, when it looked like they weren't going to get value for their money by going long, he just tried a different mix, and it's paid off again.
This for the biggest margin of the night. As Brent Harvey comes in, you be the goal umpire. The kick is on its way. And he's kicked his second, and the Kangas go 19 points in front.
Very interesting on that one, Gary. There's one of the footage we show here. Now watch Peveril. You're not going to see it. Sorry, it's the other one, the down the ground shot. Brent Harvey waits till Peveril looks for support in the midfield. As soon as he turns his head, Harvey goes. He waited till he turned his head, and that gave him 1 foot pace, 1 or 2 metres, and that was enough to capitalise on. Just have a look at this. Watch Peveril look away there, and that's when Harvey goes. Timed it beautifully, and that bought him the 2 or 3 metres on the lead. Mark, goal.
Did the Roger Bannister.
Yeah.
The margin by 19 points then. Kangaroos way. Comes to Teague. Another kick down towards half forward from the Kangaroos. They're peppering this part of the ground at the present time. Simpson battles there with force tonight. Won that test of strength. Fletcher put it back into a dangerous position. Morell to Grant. Grant runs into an open goal and bangs it through.
They've got a problem. They have got a big problem now, the Dons. They're not winning it in the midfield. In the second quarter, they came back pretty strong, but they just cannot win anything when they rebound out of defence now. Kangaroos are just mopping up everything, Gary, in the centre of the ground.
And we're holding our breath thinking the Bombers are going to come back. At some stage, you've got to make the point that they haven't looked like it all night. And that side of the ground, from a Kangaroo point of view, their left-hand side of their forward 50 is where they have tended to go to all night. And the centre clearances at the moment, 3 zip out of the middle, as you mentioned, Dermot. The Bombers have not looked like getting, a run on all night.
They've got to get Fletcher into half forward, someone who can win it up there.
Quickly, Dr. Peter Larkins, more drama for the Bombers.
Yeah, Paul Summer with the right shoulder injury in the second quarter. He didn't think much of it at the time. He's got it heavily strapped now. He's just come off, struggling with the right arm above the head.
Well, it was Jason Johnson who set them alight last year in the record-breaking comeback, and he hits Harvey on the chest. 25 points the difference. Biggest margin of the night. Harvey goes wide. Barnard couldn't get near it. It's over the line and out of bounds.
I just really honestly feel now, the Essendon back line is quite brilliant. It's not their fault that the Kangaroos are ahead. They just have to bite the bullet and accept that Fletcher is the most versatile player and put him at half forward and tell him to play up into the middle of the ground to win the ball.
Porter gets the tap. Teague off the ground. Barnard flicks it out. Carosella looks up, chips forward. Ramanauskas stayed down. Quick kick to the goal square. Alessio wrestling. Teague punches it away. Martin for the Kangaroos just hoiks it out, and a beautiful mark taken by Stevens. Needed courage and needed skill, and he had both. To Shannon Grant, and the Kangaroos have the ball at half-back flank. Inside 50s for the quarter. 9 Kangaroos, 3 Essendon.
Grant who got the last goal. Little chip up towards the wing, taken by Pickett. They're playing with plenty of poise, plenty of energy.
Only 5 possessions coming up for Byron Pickett, but he's been valued. He's held it in, he's tackled, he's bumped, he's worked hard.
Plenty of height on that one, McCartney.
Again, Dustin Fletcher just played off Jason McCartney then.
Rocker breaks for him. The kick goes in that direction. Rocker outnumbered, spills to the back. This is Jacobs. Comes out towards right half back. Forster Knight decides to stop just short of the defensive 50. 9:13 plays 6-6.
Let's see if they can win anything up on the wing now.
He's right now. Wait for the call. Play him there.
Goes back. Ramanauskas. He's been good. Very good.
He's been moved on to Brent Harvey, Dennis.
Blumfield, opposite pocket.
That's a real feather in Brent Harvey's cap, having Peverill moved off him, who's cleaned up everybody in the last 18 months.
Blumfield towards the wing. Coming hard was Harris. Knocked it down. Jacobs roving the pack, though. Little chip towards the wing, and Bolton. It bounces tantalizingly in front of him and goes out of bounds. So a real pivotal time in this game. The test being put to the Bombers. Boundary throw in on the wing. They're in trouble. They need a score. Porter waits for some contact. Alessio did well, worked him off the line of the ball. Johnson scrambles a kick out. Over the ball, Harris on his knees. Grant, Shark there well. The kick from Harvey, though, not good. It bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
Totally illustrate that point there, Gary. You say Glenn Archer does play off his opponent, and the shanked kick favoured Barnard almost dangerously there if you're a Kangaroos fan, and brilliantly if you're a Bombers fan.
17 minutes gone in the third term. Bombers haven't scored a goal since the 26-minute mark of the second. Lucas thrown to the ground by Teague. That's the umpire. 3 goals this quarter, all to the Kangaroos. Rocker, Harvey and Grant to take a half-time lead of 5 points to 25 points.
Haven't won against the Bombers for some time. 1998 was the last time they had a win, the Kangaroos, against them. 1998, the 4th qualifying final.
Still early days, though. Harvey tries to get it out. Johnson's kick was smothered. Touch play on. Colbert missed with the punch to the goal line. Here is Jacobs. He's just missed to the right-hand side. So approaching the 18-minute mark, Kangaroos 67, Bombers 43.
Having a look to see if Jacobs has gone forward or just was caught up in the play. He may have been the man moved forward from their defence to try and spark them.
Harvey straight up the middle then. From behind, Jacobs got a fist on it. Knocked it back towards the attacking 50. Putting his head down, Mercury bounces around, gets a hand pass away. Ramanauskas with the right boot. Only as far as Martin. Martin from deep inside his defensive 50 swings it out wide to Stevens. Right half back Stevens. Here's trouble for the Bombers. Simpson lays it off and King's away. One of those gallops. He's got these patented. He runs down to the 50, lines up from 52. Hasn't got the carry. Behind. Well, that was headed for the highlight reel. Still may make it.
He really, knowing his knowledge of the conditions with the bit of dew on the ground, he really slams the ball in on the bounce, doesn't he? Make sure it comes back.
Forster Knight for the Bombers. Fletcher. Nice kick. Blumfield. Bombers got to get running, moving quickly through the lines. They do that on this occasion to Wellman, who's at half forward. This is where it's breaking down, though, for Essendon. Good kick forward. Lucas on the lead, takes the mark.
Is he pulled up a bit sore there?
He might be a bit weary. He's been running, trying to get some distance between he and Glenn Archer.
Quick kick forward from Lucas to Mercury, plays on, and I think he's got it. We'll wait for the goal umpire. He went the hard way. It's their first goal of the quarter.
Well, that's what they need. They need someone to take a mark in their forward 50. Need some direction. They haven't had any space up forward all game. I just don't think they've worked hard enough to create opportunities for each other. And they need to find something as Salmon comes back onto the ground. But that was the first real positive forward movement from an Essendon point of view, that a mark kicks type situation for a long, long time.
So the margin back to 19 points. They needed that goal, and they just snicked it in.
Top of your screen there, big Paul Salmon just ambles into the goal square for the Bombers.
Rucks go at it. Burton directs it down. Mercury gets a hand pass away. Blumfield went down. Was he taken? How's he holding the ball? Holding the ball.
Yeah, he's covered up there, Dennis. He's trying to stooge out of the umpire a ball up.
Umpire having none of it. King down towards half forward. Just out in front of the leading player down there, Grant. Couldn't hang on. McVeigh kicks it out towards the wing and the boundary line. It runs across. We'll have a throw in. They need more from this young man. 68 plays 49.
Massive talent, Dennis. It hasn't really delivered in the way that the Bombers would like. He showed glimpses, but he needs some consistency.
Gee, that throw-in's gone Essendon's way.
Taken by Stevens. Socket off the ground by Grant. Burton couldn't control it. Robbins. King did well. Knew where that one was going. Back to Stevens. Chopped off by Ramanauskas, though. Not his best effort. The kick wanders down towards right half forward. Coming across is Lucas. But it spills across the boundary line. It will be thrown in. So despite the fact he was revving them up at halftime, very animated, Kevin Sheedy, it really hasn't been a spark. It's just a flicker at the moment. Essendon doing better in the last 2 or 3 minutes. They've got a lot of work to do.
Big Spider gets the tap. Lumfield off the ground to Mercury, who's suddenly got into the game. Peverill over the top. Here's a chance for Carousella from 50 to kick the second of the quarter for the Bombers. Not quite there. And Archer marks literally on the last line of defence.
Well, Barnard had given a good lead. He ignored it and just kicked straight to Barnard's man.
Harding marks. Handball's inside with his first touch of the night. Makepeace. Morrell punches away. King goes to ground, gets up, kicks smothered. Ramanauskas tackled by Pickett. He was going nowhere. Off the ground, King. Simpson. High up and under. Push. Just waiting for the umpire there. Against Mercury, and the free kick will go the way of King. King goes long, looking for Harding. Got to the front. Did he get a push? No, says the umpire. He's paid the mark to force denied. He'll have to come back.
And I think he got the original spoil on the ball cleanly. Nobody else touched it, and he's come down with it. That's a mark.
Free kicks, Kangaroos 13, Essendon 6.
Poor selection there by... Oh,
Gee whiz.
no, I tell you what, that's what the umpire thought, but that's not a mark. They were queued up in the middle there for the David King kick.
Good vision from Force tonight. Spotted Mercury, who sends it inside the 50. Salmon works in front, waiting behind Lucas. Lucas jams it on the boot. Open goal beckons for Barnard, and he's got it. The Bombers making their move.
Well, they did have a bit up their sleeves, the Bombers. They could slip themselves and step up another gear. It's taken them a while. It's taken them to the 23-minute mark to put 2 goals on. And they always look like they are capable of that, but they are still a touch lethargic in the context of this game. Those 13 points, that's a big lead still at the moment.
That can happen for Glenn Archer. Goes to the footy.
Yep.
His man finds some space. But Mercury is the one that, and Dennis mentioned it, he's just started to spark him up a bit.
Inside 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Took the Bombers 19 and a half to get their first goal of the quarter. And suddenly they've got the last 2 to be within 13 points. But it's the Kangaroos now who launch forward through King. This is a big goal for King. He kicks his first, and the answer comes from David King. 24 minutes gone in the third term, and the Kangaroos respond. 10 goals, 14, 74. Essendon 8-7, 55. And the margin back to 19 points.
Well, he's on screen. We're just waiting to find out exactly who his opponent was, because he's standing out there on the wing at the moment on his own, and he was out on the wing on his own at that centre bounce. So 5 clearances to the Kangas, 1 to Essendon. It looks like Blumfield now goes to him. You cannot afford to leave a man like David King in space on this footy ground.
Well done to Adam Simpson once again. He got the centre bounce clearance there, just that little kick forward.
16 possessions now for David King, having a very good third term. Ball bouncing around inside the centre square. Force tonight did well. Mercury again. Slips the hand pass away to Ramanauskas. Ramanauskas goes down towards half forward on the lead. The man who got their last goal, Barnard. Will that be 50?
Unfortunately, that's the way this game is going to be. Oh, don't do that, son. Don't be doing that, son.
Someone go and talk to young Reynolds. Tell him.
That's like insulting the old West Indies fast bowlers and trying to charge them down the pitch. You don't do that, mate.
I'm not worried. I am. The respect issue. Yeah, good, very good advice from the umpire. Be smart, live to fight another day, young fella.
Yeah.
And do your time too before you start gobbing off at Glenn Archer.
Oh, look, there was a fair
He's
bit
tripped.
of Greg Lagonis in that, wasn't he?
He's tripped. Look at Arch. Oh, you feel for him.
Barnard will take it and get back-to-back goals, or will he?
Oh, he's worried.
Golompire's got a long way behind. Well, there may be some football justice after all. It didn't seem to warrant the 50. Paul Barnard, pricked by his conscience, has missed.
Kangaroos have had 2 50-metre penalties, Essendon 1. Look at Barnard.
Yeah, he was worried. You could tell by the expression on his face there as it hit and left the boot. Yeah, young Reynolds, you want to see him be able to run off the ground. And if you get Glenn Archer upset, you're not a real big chance to do that at the end of the night.
Here we go. The Kangaroos go forward. The paddock is wide open. It was well read by Bolton. Had to go the second time and did it well. Off the ground, though, Simpson. Here's a chance for Harding. He can run onto the ball inside 50. Takes his time about it. Now he puts them. Foot down. Took off and kicks. A point.
Oh, a lot of David Campese in that, wasn't there?
He's got some toe.
Bit of river dance there, Dermot.
Oh, he's giving him the hot stepper.
Oh, he's got some toe, all right.
Watch this. He just plants the heel in. Bang, and off he goes.
Oh, well, kicked 1 goal 5 last week, Harding. So hasn't had his kicking boots on, as they like to say. And a point tonight. 75 to 56, 3.5 minutes left in the quarter.
Carosella and Wellman bouncing it around together. Now it comes to Mark Johnson. Back to Carosella. He's on the wing. Touches it down once. Makepeace backs off him. Now he comes to him, Makepeace. Oh, didn't work out the way Makepeace had planned. Short one from Carosella down towards the 50, and McVeigh's got it. 10-15 plays 8-8. McVeigh sets it up towards the kickoff line. Barnard and Archer, plenty of strength there. In front, Lucas caught that, and again bounces out of 2 tackles. Archer and Teague snaps it. It goes down towards the goal line. Coming back is Colbert, and he thumps it across. High drama of the MCG. He worked hard for a behind there, and I doubt he'll get the credit for it. It was rushed.
You notice now that Essendon are putting scores on the board. They're bypassing the contest in the middle of the ground. They're running the ball with possession through there and then kicking into the forward line. Whereas before, when they're coming out of the back line and they were looking ordinary, they were kicking to the contest at the wing and they were getting killed by it.
You see the clock in the top corner there. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the quarter. The Kangaroos don't want to give up their 18-point lead. Jacobs has got it at half forward for Essendon. Game lifting in intensity. Jacobs kicks to the hot spot. Big grab required. At the back, Barnard slaps it down to Reynolds, who kicks and misses. Now, where is Glenn Archer?
I don't think he wastes his breath at this stage. Well, they're just going to cross paths now. No, not a word mentioned, but again, Glenn Archer courageous in at the contest. Barnard just dropped out the back and got another free footy, and that really should have been converted by
Joel Reynolds. 1 goal 2 for the match, and 1 goal 3 for the match, in fact. 17 points the difference, coming up with 2 minutes left in the quarter.
Stevens out of the back pocket, then approaching 3/4 time. Sends play up towards the wing. Oh, almost the mark to Bolton. The 2 big men locked up there, Bolton and Rocker. It's still in. Now it's out.
That was good umpiring then. He just allowed that to go on. It was hard to decipher who actually made the first contact between Bolton and Rocker. There you go. There's a bit of grab. There's a bit of push. Leave it be.
That would have been some mark. Tossed in front, Burton reaching over the top of Lesio, directs it down behind, and Carosella couldn't control it. King has been very good in this term, made something out of nothing. Morrell back to Burton on the burst, 70 metres out, sets it up down towards full forward. Beard goes back. Was it touched? It was across the line behind.
Could you believe Spider Burton actually looked over the shoulder because he was thinking about taking a bounce? He wanted a goal then on the run.
Would have been like Justin Madden at Waverley.
At Waverley. Big Harry.
Ramanauskas in the back pocket.
Started to present Carosella now in the last 10 minutes.
Working it forward, the Bombers. As you can see, the time clock ticking away, but plenty of time for a goal in this quarter. Particularly for North Melbourne, but Morrell couldn't quite hold it. Good defensive play by Johnson. We'll have a throw in at half-forward flank for the Kangaroos. 30 minutes ticked over on the time clock. 1 minute 10 left. 76 plays 58. The throw in. Give that one to Burton. Simpson around the corner. Hoping. Bounce. Inside 50. Bolton got the handball away to Forster Knight. That was good play. Ramanauskas again. Usually good with his kicking. This one no exception. Blumfield with 50 seconds. Touch play on. Wellman has a bounce. Just waiting. Wants the lead. Now he gets one from Mercury, but he's turned it over. And Harvey has the ball inside 40 seconds.
Rebound opportunity for the Kangaroos then. Lovely kick from Harvey. Gets it to King. He's corralled on the outer side. Play on's the call.
Well done, Wellman.
Some hesitation. Now he sets it up. It's a high ball inside the 50. Punched away by Forster Knight. Outside the 50 then. Baird comes after it, sliding in from the opposite direction. Mercury spills to McVeigh, upended by Teague. The kick goes towards the wing, taken by Lucas, takes on the tackler. That was a mistake. King got him down, holding the ball. Advantage is paid. We're down to 9 seconds. Colbert to Simpson. Simpson gets the hand pass away to Robbins. They'll need a mark. We're down to 2 seconds. In it comes. Forster Knight knocks it down. I wouldn't like to be the umpire on this one.
All clear.
It's a goal. Morel.
It's a good decision in the end.
All right. We're going to play this one without the commentary and listen to the umpire. It was beautiful call.
You've got to remember.
Yeah, he got the kick in.
Well,
that was out of fix as well.
Well, the thing is, the siren went before he kicked it. By the time the umpire heard it, however long it takes to get to him, I reckon that was a difference.
That's the old rule. The rule now is when the umpire perceives that even if there is that slack time of a half a second delay getting out there or not, it's whether the umpire thinks he's got it.
Hang on, boys, we're going to have another go. We've put one level down and the other one up. Let's have a listen when the siren goes.
Well, the ball was in the air on his way to the boot when the siren went, I reckon.
He was definite. He was definite. The umpire was switched on. He was absolutely definite. He had no doubt about it.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter. It is there. It is official. It's 11-16-82. Essendon 8-10-58. They'll need to do what they did last year and come from a massive deficit to get up and win this game tonight. It's 24 points the difference. We'll be back after this. Sheets is fired. Back to the MCG. We're going to have a cracker of a last quarter. Kangaroos lead Essendon by 24 points after an on-siren goal from Digby Morel. Well, was it an on-siren goal? We'll find out in a moment. Morel's kicked 2, Harvey 2, and singles to Rocker, Stevens, Martin and King for Essendon. All single goal kickers. Let's go to Tony Jones before we have another look at that last goal.
Thanks very much, Ed. Well, Terry Danaher's with me. Terry, Kevin had plenty to say there and was pretty animated. What was the message?
Oh, look, we got to start winning the ball out of the centre. You know, we're chasing a score there at 20-odd points, so we're just going to take a few risks and then run hard and kick the ball a little bit longer. He felt we were just chipping it around a little bit too much. But, you know, the slippery conditions, we've just got to get it long down there to fish and our key forwards and hopefully get the crummers there that can crumb the goals.
Well, it's going to be a stressful half hour for you, so go and do it.
Won't. We'll get in there and we can get that ball out of the centre and get it going forward. We're in with a real good chance.
Oh, good on you, Terry. Terry Danaher joining us there, Ed.
TJ with TD. Let's have another look at Digby Morel's goal. That's him on screen, and we'll freeze it on the siren. There it is.
Well, from the time that ball hits his boot, that is about when the umpire would have heard it. So, absolute correct call.
So there you go. Justification for Essendon fans who have tried to put their boot through the TV screen. And joy for Trevor Marmalade, who's going, you beauty, that's worth 2. Back in the centre of the ground, 24 points of difference. Can the Bombers come back?
Ramanauskas out of the middle. Jams it on the boot, spins out towards the wing. He goes and finds it again. Kicks inside the 50. Big leap down there. Mercury couldn't hang on. Reynolds a half chance, left without it. Well worked, Makepeace. Got it to Roberts. Little chip pass came out. Grant runs on. Earlier it was Clayton as the kick goes inside the 50. Going back Baird. Hacked out of there. Very high towards the boundary line. Over and out from Dustin Fletcher.
Most blokes, that would have dribbled along the ground, but Fletch, because he gets such good purchase on the ball when he lashes at it with any type of kick, it's gone an extra 40.
Stevens pumps it inside the 50 then. Reaching over the top, McCartney. Fletcher Carousella comes away, touches it down, runs through half-back. He's inside the centre square now, kicks it down towards half-forward. Barnard coming on a lead. Archer there step for step. Reynolds dragged down by Blakey. Archer soccers off the ground, headed for the boundary line. It pulls up. About a metre over. That was perfect as we go down to Tony Jones.
Thanks, Dan. Well, that lead for the Kangas looking even better now because it is raining quite heavily. Offsetting that, though, the wind has picked up. It's blowing down the Essendon end at the moment. So with this rain, very, very heavy at the minute.
So 24 points becomes a very, very handy lead. We've played a minute and a half in the final turn. Bombers inside 50 for the second time. From behind, Archer, eyes for the ball. Didn't care who was in front, friend or foe, took the mark.
But they've got to weather the storm, the Kangaroos. They'll know it's coming, and if they can do that, who better than Glenn Archer, obviously. If they can do that for the first 5 or 10 minutes, they should win the match.
Well, the climactic storm has arrived. As Tony said, it's raining now. It is absolutely pouring. And that is sight for sore eyes for the Kangaroos. Absolutely. At the back, Carousella. Bombers need to get one quickly. Get a bit of a run going. Lucas on the half volley. Wellman. Gang tackled, thrown to the ground. We'll have a ball up on centre wing.
Not playing all that smart at the moment, the Bombers. They had men on in the middle of the ground. Carousella missed Peverill, who was actually standing in the centre circle. They've lost every final quarter this season, the Dons, but a lot of the time, Kevin Sheedy plays the kids when they've got the game won.
Peverill towards half forward. Reynolds in front, knocked away by Blakey. You think back to Anzac Day and the rain. The Bombers got 4 goals for the afternoon that day. Well, they need more than 4 to win this. We'll have a throw in down towards left half forward. 11-16, plays 8-10.
Jacobs is at home at half forward again for this final quarter.
Simpson loves that situation. He's the 3rd man up, although on that occasion basically the only man up. Here's Ramanauskas, runs away from the wing. Again, kicks inside the 50. He's tried very hard. Jacobs outnumbered, gets a hand pass away to Moorcroft, goes in. Was it touched by Archer? I don't think it was. All clear is given. Archer can't believe it. It's a thigh slapper. It's a goal.
I swear I touched it, he said.
There's Glenn Archer. I reckon I saw the ball spin change as it went past Glenn Archer. I'm convinced he's touched this. I reckon he's touched it, Gary. And that's a real good break for the Bombers there. But Jacobs just the know-how there. He saw the ball coming in. When they come in low and flat in the rain, they hit the hands and they keep skidding over the back there. Archer knows he can't do much about it now.
He just had a look at the replay himself, and I think he's still convinced he's touched it, but we'll have a look at it shortly.
Welcome back. Glenn Archer still holding his finger. Well, was it touched? Well, let's watch the ball. The trajectory. Does it change?
Fingernail at best, wouldn't it?
Well, square up for Digby Burrell. Blumfield out of the centre. Back to 18 points. Bombers right back in this game. Stevens put his head over the boot there and the ball. Fantastic stuff by the skipper. That'll lift the Kangaroos as Simpson gets another kick forward. Harvey pushed out of the contest by Johnson. Mark Johnson's kick to centre wing. Mickey Martin. Jacobs did well. But once again, it's Simpson. Around the body. He's turned it over on this occasion, though, and the mark has been taken by Mark Johnson.
Heffernan just refuses to get near Simpson at the moment.
There's Carousella from the short pass. Takes off now. Comes across to Wellman. There's a man on the wing. Blumfield. He's got it. Now Johnson moving for him. It goes in that direction. Well, wider. It comes out towards Reynolds, and Reynolds couldn't control it. It spills across the boundary line. Perhaps not the choice there. Reynolds needed to hang back. In effect, he was bringing his man towards Jason Johnson, who was coming across. Johnson may have been the best option. Boundary throw in the rain at the MCG. Friday night football to the back of the pack. Simpson again. Didn't have the footy. Now a chance for Carousella. It was Porter who socked the ball forward. Carousella kicks to about 40 metres out. Teague came hard, intent on destruction, bumped it out of bounds.
Named the oldest winner of the Brownlow medal. That's tonight's question in the Herald Sun Footy Trivia Competition. Entry coupons in every Friday's edition of the Herald Sun. Named the oldest winner of the Brownlow medal. The Herald Sun Friday Trivia Competition.
3 up for the Kangaroos that last contest. If Essendon can get a few crumbers inside 50, they're going to kick a few off the deck.
You could see in that last angle the rain.
And Dermot, I can tell you there's a good reason that Heffernan hasn't been near Simpson. He's not on him. It's Plumfield, and he needs to tighten up.
So
Long sleeve jumper got me.
Throw in.
Great technicality there, Gary.
50 metres out. Bombers still in the game. Next goal, all important. Teague heads for the boundary line.
No, son.
Off the ground.
No, son.
Robbins.
First mistake for the night, Ben Robbins. He's been absolutely fantastic.
Don't need to give this bloke too many chances. Jason Johnson kicks a torpedo inside the 50 up to the forward pocket, almost the mark to Barnard. Crowd liked it. Umpire didn't. Teague off the ground. Have another throw in. Let's have a look at the clearances. The Kangaroos have been on top in this situation all year. Top 5 for the night. Robbins, Simpson and King doing it again. Johnson and Ramanauskas for the Bombers.
No substitute for hard work. Boundary throw in. And the ruckman touched the ball. Mercury in trouble. Taken down. Spills to Moorcroft. Slick hands away to Lucas. Will it bounce through? Yes, it will. The sharpest of angles. His second.
I reckon he meant that, Dermot. I'd give him, I don't know if he'd need the benefit of the doubt, but he deliberately kicked it low. Knows that the rain's there, knows that he's going to get pretty true bounce along the ground. And he's on his left foot, of course, so I think that's a very clever goal.
Deliberately kicked a tumble punt, one way or the other.
Welcome back to the MCG with 15 and a half minutes to go. The Bombers have turned a 24-point three-quarter time deficit to 12 points. Stevens for the Kangaroos. Out of the centre, but it's marked by Mark Johnson. Bombers sensing and sniffing victory here in a big comeback. Again against the Kangaroos. Fletcher kicks out wide. The young and the old takes it to the boundary line in John Blakey in front of Joel Reynolds for a throw-in.
And the worrying thing is that the Kangaroos aren't getting a crack at scoring goals. It's 6-2 inside 50 for the Bombers at the moment, so they really have dominated in the early part of this last quarter.
Porter and Alessio, Derm.
They're good at the takeaways here, the Kangaroos, though, but they're not going to win this one.
Oh, they might. Got the tap. It came to Carousella. Just thumps it forward to the forward 50. 2 Kangas flew. 2 Bombers stayed down. One of them was Mercury. Takes on Martin. He goes inside. Lucas, he kicked the great captain's goal. Kicks another one. Does he? No, he misses from point-blank range. Scotty Lucas. Left foot, had the angle. 10 metres out. Has mucked it up.
He tied himself up. You watch him here. He should have run a bigger hook into the centre of the ground. Yeah, he tied himself up in knots.
Got to tighten up, Lee Colbert. Been pretty good. He's just got to tighten up.
Oh, King, what's he done? Heffernan knocks it back towards the goal square. Martin heads for the line. Out of bounds, deliberate. It's all happening at the MCG.
Thought he disguised that well enough, Mick. He actually didn't hit it. He put hands on it and he let the momentum of his body take it that way.
A chance for the old 7-point play. Jacobs comes around, hooks it right across the face, offhand, still in the field of play. It's a live ball. Reynolds swings it back. They'll compete about 15 metres out. Colbert missed it. Jacobs throws it on the boot. It's a goal. His first.
They needed a winner at centre-half forward, Gary, called in the third quarter. They're just breaking down there. The centre forward that pushes up to the midfield and one that just drops back and goes with the flight of the ball. And he has been instrumental in 2 of these 3 last quarter goals here. Danny Jacobs.
They've been touch unlucky, Mickey Martin, but that is a good centering kick from Joel Reynolds. Pretty clever play. He's a pretty neat player, Danny Jacobs.
Bombers have kicked the first 3 of the final term. It is a goal the difference. 5 points the difference, in fact. And Mickey Martin was pinged for deliberately out of bounds for that. Well, I don't know what he could have done.
Disguised it well, I thought.
Well, I don't think it was even a disguised him. I mean, you can't...
He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing, but in the wet weather, I tell you what, you can't swim backwards. Out of the centre, the Kangaroos, it's a 5-point ball game, 82-77. 14 minutes left, plenty of time. for both sides. McCartney gets the handball out. Blumfield on top of it. Ramanauskas. Bombers putting their bodies on the line now. Wellman's kick was smothered. Ramanauskas saw Pickett coming and he put his head over the ball too and got one high in the free kick.
They're just irrepressible at the moment. They need a goal for their own confidence, the Kangaroos.
Wellman, as both sides remember last year. Moorcroft handballs off to Alessio. Inside 50. Makepeace has been fantastic tonight. Kicks out to the wide open spaces, but Carousel is the only man there. He has the ball at half-back.
Kept his head. Peveril, short one. Got there in time. Forster Knight. Still plenty of time, as you can see. The margin 5 points. Forster Knight across half-back. Ramanauskas again. So much of the football tonight. Runs it outside the defensive 50.
23rd possession.
Sends it down towards half forward. Jason Johnson was up. What a wonderful mark by the veteran John Blakey, though. Coming back with the flight of it. Wore a knee in the back and probably knew it was coming.
They're not getting any run through the midfield now, the Kangaroos. It's all prop and cop stuff. And pump it down and hopefully someone wins a contest at the other end.
Blakey towards half forward. Bolton slapped it down. Off the ground by Clayton inside the 50. Morell approaches the football just inside the boundary line. Knocked away. Well done by Carousel. Ties him up and the umpire, well, he thought about it long and hard, did the umpire. He had no chance, is the word.
Whereas early in the game, or the first 3 quarters, those long contests were falling in the goal square.
Yep. The
long contests are falling at centre half forward and they just aren't getting opportunity.
Porter, not to the right man. Johnson comes away. His kick towards the wing. Good mark taken by Young Teague. Eyes only for the football. Lays it off. Stevens goes across the ground. Grant set away on his left side. Running down towards the 50. Aided by a good shepherd from Clayton. Kicks it right down towards the kick-off line. Bolton stands tall. And the lead inclusion takes this defensive mark.
Well, we're going to be in for football's equivalent of 12 minutes of trench warfare here. Bolton from full back.
Oh.
Pushing the back. Umpires paid it to Clayton against Heffernan.
Has had a great night, Chris Heffernan, tonight.
15-7 the free kicks in favour of the Kangaroos. Inside 50, Clayton goes, drops short. Harvey's there, still waiting. Peveril over the top. Umpire, he was looking for it, the umpire. Scott McLaren wanted to be all over that one.
Yes, he did. And it wouldn't have been an incorrect decision.
Just got out. Throw in. But the Bombers are under the hammer. Roos by 5 points. Throw-in clearances in the last quarter. Essendon 5, Kangaroos 0. They'll need another one here, and they get it. For the moment, here's Pickett. Was he legged? Throw. You heard it. Essendon free kick.
Well, this is good stuff now. Ramanauskas, despite the rain, the crowd really warming to this finish. 5 points the difference. Ramanauskas swings it out wide as if Stevens were on the lead. Stevens gets a hand pass away to Pickett. Pickett, who was standing the mark moments ago, tries to skid it through for a goal and narrowly misses.
See the runner there say to Byron Pickett, he's pushed his hand up as if to say, play in the goal square. We need you up there leading from that area.
When you're as talented as Adam Ramanauskas and you can use the ball that well, sometimes you just don't think enough. You take it for granted, and that can happen. It happens too often at times.
Fletcher drives off towards midfield, judging his leap. Wellman waiting behind, though. It was King who hand passed out wide. Stevens gave it to the run of Grant, who spots up this man Pickett, and Pickett will shoot a goal from about 35 metres out.
And that's why the runner said go back to the goal square, so you can lead from there. And is starting to win a little bit of the footy again in the contest around the centre of the ground. And you see Pickett now, he can lead from deep in the forward 50.
Fletcher's sore too.
Yeah.
Pulled up lame. I don't know how badly, but he certainly was limping.
Huge kick, this one. Byron Pickett has missed to the near side. The Kangaroos, already a couple of heartbreakers this season against Sydney and again last week. Their record could have been so much better, and now looking at another possible defeat as the Bombers are coming hard at them.
10 minutes to go.
Blood rule with Damien Peveril.
Robbins has been great the last couple of weeks. An unsung hero in the midfield for the Kangas.
Essendon bunching at centre-half back there, Gary. Sorry to just snip in. They've got one man out there. Fletcher's been examined, just left-hand bottom of the screen. Got Peverill coming off with the blood rule. But Essendon now with a little bit of time. And have a look at this, because you got the wagon wheel out and the Kangaroos are circling them. See them, the outriders on the right, 3 of them, and they're behind and a couple in front. They're actually circling like the old... what do you call it? The wagon circle, yeah.
Circle the wagons. The Indians are coming.
Yep.
Ramanauskas kicks outside the 50.
Fantastic.
Beautiful mark there by Alessio in front of his partner in Mark's Place Restaurant, Severio Rocca.
Who eats more?
I don't know, not anymore. Sev once upon a time, I think. The kick to Lucas.
Good hit.
Inside, Blumfield. Bombers, experience, just holding the ball up at the moment.
They're not panicking.
No. 7 points the difference. Need 2 scoring shots, obviously. To full forward, the pack flies. McCurry just dwelling, waiting. Moorcroft looking for a free kick, dives back in on top of it. Stevens there for the Kangaroos will have a bounce.
Been impressed with Teague. He looks like he's a mini version of Glenn Archer.
He's come on. He's after half-time. They have lost 3 games by under 8 points this season, so they've been highly competitive.
Tossed up, Porter directs it down. King. It's a kick away. Morrell juggled, attempted the mark in midfield. Now he's got a problem. Took a while. McCartney under pressure. Grant tries to slap it back to Morrell, coming in to assist to Stevens. That's a throw, surely. Throw on's the call. Okay, the kick by Colbert down towards half forward. Sent away down there with the ball in front of him was Grant. Slaps it out in front of Clayton, close to the line. Putting his head on the line there was Heffernan. It'll be tossed in.
It looked like a throw. It did look like a throw. Did he have control of it?
In the tackle.
He probably didn't take control.
Yeah, he didn't throw. He got dragged away from the ball as it was bobbling around in front of him too.
Slippery ball in the rain. Umpire giving them some latitude then. Forced denied, claimed immediately by Stevens. And the ball will be tossed up. 84 plays 77.
That type of scrap up you're seeing on screen right now, that will suit the Kangaroos down to the ground. They're good at these takeaways.
Attendance 34,352 in very cold and now wet conditions.
Oh, throw.
Grant trying to slap it out. Inside 8.5 minutes.
Fletcher going forward and hobbling, but going forward. So obviously not bad enough to take him off the ground, but he now will go deep and Mick Martin will follow him down to the goal square for the Bombers.
Time on being blown now as a blood rule for Shannon Grant. Not much in that one, but he has to come off. So we'll wait. So 18.5 minutes gone. Porter will come off as well.
Someone tell Mark Porter just to relax, because the game won't start until Shannon Grant gets off behind him.
He just
won
knows
the race, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's won the race.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Good
he's
run,
done
though.
it. He's done it well, because whoever comes on second for Grant is definitely going to beat Spider out to the position. So he's giving Spider a leg up.
Kangaroos' last win against the Bombers was the qualifying final of 1998, when they won in front of 71,000 by 22 points. Since then has been the Bombers on the last 6 occasions. 19 minutes gone, 7-point difference as the Bombers out of the ball up, kick it out of bounds on the 4th from Blumfield.
16 possessions to Justin Blumfield tonight, a host of opponents.
No Fletcher now in the defensive area or the defensive goal square. They really need to carry the footy and belt it in long. They've got Rocker against Jacobs, McCartney and Wellman.
Harris kicks it in, up in front of Lesio. Blumfield tries to direct it across to Wellman. Bolton can't find the handle. Now he does. Away to Heffernan, right against the line. It stays in, though. It's coming back. Throwing it on the boot was Harris down towards half forward. McCartney goes back. Knocked across the line there by Blumfield. So the margin 8 points.
You called it that Jacobs has swapped for Fletcher. Now, Fletcher's not going to move around the forward line all that well. Jacobs going to be value wherever he is. But he's the reason they kicked 2 of those 3 goals this quarter up forward, Danny Jacobs. And if he's not there anymore, it's going to be hard to get that travel through him and get the ball to go through him.
Well, he was in the back pocket there. He gave it to Carosella, and Carosella is up towards left half back.
They've fallen down from this all night, Dennis, where somebody can present up from half forward. Now we get Lucas on a long lead.
Still plenty of time. Lucas committed to the pack. It spills wide. Handling it towards the line initially, Jason Johnson, then proceeds to get the kick away inside the attacking 50 for the Bombers. Blakey heads for the line. How will the umpire call that? With compassion.
Inside 7 minutes, throw in. Kangaroos 85, Essendon 77. 8-point ball game. Spider got the tap. Ramanascus is there for the Bombers. Quick hands. Knocked it out in front. Reynolds back to Ramanascus. Tight in the pocket. Back he comes. Harvey around the corner. Not far enough, though, and it's through for a point. So 21 minutes gone. And the Kangaroos are 11-19-85. Essendon 11-12-78.
Quick hands by Ramanascus. He plays a lot of basketball as a young kid. He didn't even really take possession before he shot out a handball. Some real ability.
7 points the difference. King saying go to the boundary line. Punched away by Alessio. Simpson on the break. Harvey, rather Johnson did it beautifully, but now it's Harris. Bolton takes the mark for Essendon at half-back flank.
That's been handy in this last term, Bolton. Told to play on, kicks to midfield in the direction of Archer. Helped on its way by Barnard, arriving quickly. Carosella dragged down. Barnard gets the crumb, kicks inside the 50. How will it run? Well, it's been headed towards the line. Snapped across his body, out of midair by Fletcher. His second goal. Zidane would have been ecstatic with that.
Wow,
a header to himself.
How appropriate, Dennis. On the night that the World Cup is launched, have a look at this. He's got the longest legs I've ever seen with bloke in arms. He's a gadget man. Oh. Look at this, though. That is fantastic.
Actually, it wasn't a head. It was what the arm of God.
Maradona.
Welcome back to a thriller at the MCG. It's the Kangaroos by a point. Let's have a look at this. Dustin Fletcher, World Cup special. Well, in soccer parlance, he was almost on the byline, and he's put it over the top.
That is incredible, Eddie. His reflexes, he's a gadget man. He's Mr. Gadget.
He actually ran for the boundary as soon as he kicked it. It had been predetermined. He was coming off the ground, but the runner went straight back at him and said, no, you went for that okay. Stay out there, son. We need you.
Yeah, he was grimacing when he hit the ground, but it's a point the difference. The Kangaroos, can they hang on?
Ramanascus out of the middle, but only as far as Blakey across half back.
If they don't score again, the Kangaroos can't win. They have to kick another goal.
This is Makepeace. Had that ball surrounded. Little chip up towards the wing. Harris has got it. Makepeace on the overlap. Kicks it down towards half forward. A point the difference. You can see the last goal. The Kangaroos, it's been a while. On his knees, Grant looking for Morrell. Charging in there. Was forced tonight. Just knocked the ball back in. And we'll have a ball up just outside the attacking 50 for the Kangaroos. 5.5 minutes to go.
All 4 goals of the quarter going the way of the Bombers.
Tossed up. Simpson commits to the pack. Goes again. Hand passes over his head. Morrell's on top of the football. Attracts a crowd immediately, and another throw up.
Really big time for Digby Morrell. He's playing at centre half forward, and that is the skipper, I think, isn't it?
Stevens.
He got outmarked once by Mark Bolton and then got manhandled and shoved down the road again. He has to stand up now, Digby.
Alessio used his body, took it to the ground, ball up. So we're ticking inside 5 minutes. And the umpire throws the ball up. Kangaroos by 1 point. As we saw earlier, they've lost 3 games this year by less than 8 points. That's the type of Taylor woe that makes the difference at the end of the year. Clayton runs into an open goal. Clayton needs to kick the goal, and he's missed. Shane Clayton has kicked 2 behinds from gettable shots, 1 in the first quarter, and that one, it's a 2-point ball game. His 2 behinds is the margin in the game.
Wellman gallops away from the back pocket, comes towards the wing, reaching over the top. Carosella finds it on the ground, forward of half back, chips towards the wing again. That's better. Found a target, Bolton. Moorcroft brilliantly down to Barnard. Barnard, penetrating kick inside the 50. A goal and they'll be in front. This is Makepeace, stood his ground, got it away to Robbins. Robbins the hand pass to Archer. Archer swings play high towards the wing, taken by King. Cruising past was Teague, he ignores that.
He's got a point here. He's still a metre or two ahead of where he took the mark.
Going to shoot a goal. David King has the ball midway between right half back and right centre wing.
They have to kick another goal here.
Consumes a fair bit of time. I think that was what he was all about there. To McCartney, waiting in front. Harris had it a while. Tries to step around a would-be tackler. Jacobs got a boot to it. Forster Knight slipped over. Harris gave him no respite. Forster Knight knocks it back. Ramanauskas, brilliant balance. Sockers it along the line. Ooh. Trickles out. Boundary throw in. Just over 3.5 minutes to go. Clock stops at 3:40. 2 points the difference. The Kangaroos on top. What a finish at the MCG on Friday Night Football.
You better believe it, Dennis. This is a beauty. 2 points the difference. The Kangaroos hanging on. Tension mounting. Dennis Pagan. It's really down to the players, though, now. There's not much he can do. Alessio has been grand in this last quarter. Heffernan's lifted as well. He kicks. Out of bounds on the full, says the boundary umpire.
They're going to play straight down the line here. They're not going to take too many risks at this point of the evening, so...
Rocker's got away here, and that's where the kick will go. From Makepeace to Rocker.
Not so costly. He probably needed to be there for the next one, although it's Morrell and McCartney and Burton straight down the line. So he's got to go there. Get to the drop of the footy, those small Kangaroos.
He has the false start, trying to eat down the clock at the moment. There's plenty of time. 3 minutes left. Big Sav gives it a good roost too, up to the forward 50. Burton from behind, just got enough hand on the ball to bring it to ground. Johnson hard at it as always, gets the handball inside. Blumfield starts to open it up. Barnard now through the middle of the ground. Vital contest, Moorcroft flies. Good play by Teague from behind. At the fall of the ball, Bolton inside. Barnard went to ground. That was almost a trip. Play on. Archer for the Kangaroos. Going forward to the pocket. Harvey turns around. McVeigh picks up. Handball's inside. Johnson, Mark Johnson gets back and hits it over the line and out of bounds. Bombers live to fight another day. With 2.5 minutes left on the clock. It's the Kangas by 2 points, but it's deep in their forward line.
Watch out for Brent Harvey, this boundary line throwing. He's the get-about who can rove really well off the hands of the pack here. He's the danger man with this throw-in.
Wonderful by Mark Johnson moments ago. Directed down by Burton. Just bounces around in there. It's not coming out.
He might have saved Mark McVeigh a little bit of pain, Mark Johnson. He just got turned inside out far too easily. At this stage of the game, has to work harder and push him boundary side.
2:25 to go. Kangaroos by 2 points. Burton knocks it only as far as Carousella. Jason Johnson comes away. Kicks to midfield. Simpson
He's
did
a superstar.
brilliantly.
This bloke is a superstar.
Stepped around Blumfield and took the mark with the game in the balance.
25th disposal coming up for Adam Simpson. 17 kicks,
Give it a mick.
7 handballs so far.
And it comes to Martin outside the 50. The clock continues to run inside 2 minutes now. The Kangaroos on the ropes but hanging on. A goal here will seal it. Morrell comes on a lead, aided by a pick.
He has to go to the goal square. He can't take the risk. Every Essendon player is ahead of him.
Martin from 70 metres out then, sets it up. Up goes McCartney, virtually uncontested.
Danny Jacobs, I don't know what he was doing. He must have thought Mick Martin could kick the footy 65 metres because he was setting up a long, long way from the kicker. There you see Jacobs drop out the back, and he just read it better. Jason McCartney. I tell you, 5th mark, the goal is so important. The point gives Essendon free possession at a kick-in and is ultra dangerous. So talk about important kicks.
He's kicked 2 behinds for the night.
Good pair of hands there shown by Bomber.
Seen a lot of this in recent weeks. A kick for glory close to the final siren. And again tonight, McCartney. Magnificent. Gun barrel strikes.
Perhaps a bit of fatigue on Mick Martin, but that was a shallow kick, and Jason McCartney read it best. You called it, Gary. His opponent, Danny Jacobs, watch him here. He stays off and he thinks it's coming long, and right about now he's gone, oh, I'm done.
Why would you be on the back pedal on a night like that? And now the Kangaroo players flood back. McCartney's gone back into defence. King has gone back to defence. Makepeace, they are just got numbers back.
Three-man forward line.
Three-man forward line for the Roos. They are all in defence.
The great McCartney. The Bombers will need to kick 2 in a minute. Here they come. Jacobs forced tonight. They don't need to go backwards. Wellman's kick is turned over. And Captain Courageous, Anthony Stevens, takes the mark.
Do you like how they put little slits in his head bandage so he can still hear?
Will kick out wide to Harvey. They will milk it down. 50 seconds and counting.
At 15 seconds, hasn't he, supposedly, before he gets a warning?
He's used it all up. Beautiful kick. Nice running from Colbert. That's where you want to be. Wide and with the ball in your hand.
Yes, Dennis Pagan can well afford to sit back at this stage.
Not relaxing, I wouldn't have thought. Dennis is chewy, getting a workout tonight as always. Inside the last 30, the Kangaroos are going to have a memorable win here tonight against the Bombers. Alessio Marks, 20 seconds to go. Squares it up, Jacobs. Out wide. The Bombers have got the ball in their possession, but the Kangaroos have got the game wrapped up. Pickett. The countdown goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game over. Kangaroos win by 8 points at the MCG.
And look at the old troopers, all the old stages of the Kangaroos. They all stood up tonight. Mick Martin did his bit, kicked a goal, and they are delighted with this.
Kangaroos 12-20-92 have defeated Essendon 12-12-84. The Bombers kicked 4 goals in the final term. The Kangaroos kicked just 1. It was the last of the night at the 29.5-minute mark. And it was Jason McCartney. One of the stars of the night, though, undoubtedly, was Glenn Archer. He's with Tony Jones.
Yes.